All right. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to call to order the City of Lake Worth Beach Code Enforcement Special Magistrate hearing. Today is Thursday, March 25th, 2021. My name is Keith Davis. I'm the Special Magistrate appointed by the city to preside over today's hearing. I guess you guys probably don't have any cell phones that are on, but if you do, go ahead and check. Are we going to be bringing in the respondents one at a time? So let's go ahead and swear in. Well, do we even have, we're going to do the staff one at a time also?
Yeah, for the first.
Okay.
Both fire are here and they're presenting first if you want to do them.
Okay, let me go ahead and whoever's in the room, I can at least swear you guys in, city staff and fire rescue folks who are going to be testifying. Thank you. Do each of you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much. You can have a seat. I guess that since there's really no respondents in the room, I don't have to give the normal explanation. So let's go ahead and get started and bring the first folks in who signed up.
We're going to go to page 25, case number 67. I'm sorry, number 67, case number 21-444. Property address is 1847 Aragon Avenue. Property owner is Daniel W. Hyatt and Frederick J. Smith. And this is Paul DeRossi from Palm Beach County Fire Rescue.
All right, good morning, gentlemen. I'm going to hear from the city's witnesses first. There may be, I don't know if there'll be documents shown on the screen. If there are, you'll have an opportunity to look at those. Once city's testimony is complete, you'll have an opportunity to ask the witness any questions and tell me any additional information you have about the case. So we'll generally, I need to swear you guys in too. If you're going to be testifying or speaking to me about the case, your testimony does need to be under oath. So let me go ahead and swear you in. Do each of you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes. Thank you very much.
And Your Honor, just for the record,
Yes, ma'am.
we've also sworn in Yolanda Robinson.
You were or you were not?
I was not. I was not.
You swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. Okay, go ahead.
Inspector Nicole DeRossi, Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. I went to 1847 Aragon Ave, suite number 2 for an inspection for business inspection. They asked us to come there to do the inspection. When I went there, I discovered that they had installed a spray booth.
What?
A paint spray booth that requires a permit, suppression system, all that kind of stuff. And they were building a closet storage room and none of those had permits. So at the time of the inspection, which was July 15, 2020, I told them that they couldn't use a spray booth until there was a permit that was approved and all the inspections were completed, and to stop construction on that room until they pulled the proper permits and got those approved. Emailed back and forth for a while, wasn't getting any updates. There was a phone call made to the fire marshal regarding the incident, or emailing and not getting any information. So the assistant fire marshal came with me for the second re-inspection, which was September 29th, 2020. At that time, when we went in there, they'd added another spray booth, some sandblasting equipment, put in like exhaust piping that none of it was permitted, and they had still been constructing that room that I specifically told them to stop.
Okay.
That's the original spray booth. And so again, they were told to stop everything that they were doing until proper permits were pulled. They hired a company to submit, and they submitted kind of a rough permit submittal. Not until January. I believe it was January 13th, we rejected it. At that time, they asked for more time. We said, okay, we can give you another 30 days to get all the comments and get the permit issued. They resubmitted and were rejected again on February 9th. Nothing has been submitted since then. So we still don't have any permits for anything that was added. And I don't know if there's, when I was there, they were still, the second time, they were still producing product. I don't know if they still are.
All right, what relief is the city seeking?
We're seeking them to finish the permitting process and get all permits that are required approved and all inspections completed to close out those permits. But we don't think they should have any more time to comply with that. They went from July of the first notification and didn't even submit anything for permits until January.
What time frame are you recommending that this be limited to at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they should have any more time. They should get it done as quickly as possible. Part of the problem is they submitted on February 9th, and we haven't gotten any more revisions since then. And it's been almost a month and a half.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
something to consider would be, as long as the order was clear that they cannot be producing any product or using these unpermitted facilities, the city would be willing to give them 60 days to finish the permitting process. But I think the fire concern is obviously they're in there with these unpermitted equipment and spray booths. And so if the order were clear that there can be absolutely no producing, give them a reasonable time to complete the permit process. And then once that completed, then we would, obviously find them in compliance.
Do you have a recommendation on daily fines in the event the compliance isn't achieved as
Well,
the
given,
order?
I think the testimony here, I think we would ask for a maximum fine of $250 per day if they don't comply.
And is this a administrative cost of 400 and is it 425.29? You'd think that number would be burned in my brain. But. All right, thank you. Is there anything else from the city at this point? Let me hear from the respondents. Gentlemen, if you tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the case.
My name is Daniel Hyatt. I am the landlord. I've owned the building for 20 years. And I have 3 documents here that I would like to present to you.
You show them to the city attorney, and then I'll take a look at them. Thank you.
How are you? There's the code case. Want to see all 3 now?
Sure.
Well, I appreciate it. For sure.
Mhm.
It says, we recommend you reach out to state record and address your desire to all your assistance. Extend the time to the course officer. Once we know to the fire safety.
Okay.
The bottle original was okay. Over 2 or 3 new machines. I never got there. Got there. Came back.
All this is supposed to be on the record and we can't.
Let me just finish with him, so I
Okay.
understand some of his background, and obviously he can then testify to the magistrate. He's just giving me, I think, some background.
So basically, the permit process.
But yeah, whatever they're saying will not be part of the record.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so if you want to go ahead
You
and,
have some of that. I guess I need.
okay, yeah, if you want to, part of your presentation, and then
Okay, thank you. All right, so I can give you a copy of this narrative if you'd like, or would you like me to just read it to you?
Why don't you just go ahead and proceed?
Okay. This is a timeline and narrative for relocation and some pertinent facts that I think are important. This is map He has been the tenant of record in that space for nearly a year. And from June of 2016 to June of 2020, he was located in another one of my buildings in the Marlin Industrial Park, which is adjacent to this. He has been from May of 2020 to March of 2021. He's been located at the 1847 Oregon, which is the subject property. In June and July 2020, this was an older bay. We fully gutted the bay and we did an upgraded electrical service. I abated the rent from him for the month of June and contributed money to the new electric service, which we all permitted and we all did perfectly legal, the main new electric coming in. He has spent about $17,000 upgrades to the existing interior space, including paintwork, flooring, fixtures, and all that stuff. However, we're still in the process of obtaining the full permits and orders to finish the space. The reason for that was we ordered 2 or 3 machines, sandblasting machines, and a new compressor that because of the COVID and all that stuff, we couldn't get shipped in a timely manner. So this was an ongoing process. We had all the other stuff in there, which I might add is legally permitted. His license in an order. He's been in the city of Lake Worth. This is his first business venture. And when the time came, when he attempted to get the permit in December, I will be the first to admit that he didn't hire any professional person to do the application. And the application was not complete enough to get it going. So it went to the city, it went to review, and it was rejected in February. And at that point, we hired a design firm called Metro Design that all they specialize in is kitchens, bathrooms, restaurants, and stuff like that. And they have been doing the comments and stuff back and forth with the city. And so I guess what I'm trying to make sure there's no confusion on the issue that even though we're tardy and negligent on this because of COVID and the other machines not arriving, that we have been making pretty good effort at getting all this stuff done. And the last thing, when I talked to him yesterday, the permit is just about through the whole process. The problem is between a rock and hard place. He can't go in there and just start arbitrarily finishing the project if he doesn't have the permit in hand. I have some other issues that I've been working on with the city. And, since the COVID has come, the building department is shut down. You go over there and you put you can't go to a plan review. You can't do anything. You have to go put a piece of paper in a box and they take it out and they respond to it. So without them, and also the permit goes from the city over to the fire marshal and then it comes back. It's kind of with the COVID and everything being shut, it's been an unwieldy process. But I'm not saying at all that they haven't been slow on their part either, because when they got these new machines in and they have different UL, they got different requirements. That we went from a 1,200 square foot shop, regular warehouse bay, to this is a 2,400 foot, right? And he's been a tenant of mine for approximately 5 years, and he's kept up all his obligations in an excellent manner to me. He's paid the rent on time. He's done all that stuff like that. And I never usually get involved in these code issues between the tenant and the city, but I strongly feel that basically that he's going to get all this completed in the near future. And my only recourse at this point, if I go ahead and evict him, he's lost $60,000 or $70,000 in back rent that he's paid trying to get this place open. He's lost all this stuff, and it wouldn't do anything but hurt all parties involved, and it wouldn't help anybody. And we're trying to bring business to the city. And this is, if anybody were to come over there and look at it, I'm sure that Nicole could tell you this, it's a nice looking shop. He spent a lot of money on it. And he does all these different projects in there, which is powder coating. He has a couple big air compressors. The office is perfect. Everything's done. And when he first went there, I insisted he go to the city ahead of time, which he did, hire a contractor, and it's all new electric service. So right now at this date, these big machines that we've ordered are sitting there. One's still in a shrink wrap. They're not being used. And the only thing that he's using is the legal permitted part of it that we had at the other shop. He has an active occupational license. He has active insurance, and he's just trying to make a living. I contacted, when I talked to Nicole, she very nicely recommended I talk to her boss, who is a guy named David Dorita. David Dorita and I worked these issues for 2 days. I have 2 corresponding issues. emails from him that I can go over with you if you'd like. The first one is, this is my request for him to help me out to see what he can do. Good afternoon, Fire Marshal DeRita. I'm following up on our conversation today. It's my understanding the tenant first applied for the permit on December 4th for a building permit to complete his interior. According to city records, it was resubmitted on February the 4th, and he was awaiting issuance to city. I realize problems exist in the space. However, we cannot move legally forward until we get the building permit. At this point, my tenant is hired. That's redundant. Could you please review the permit in your department and see where it is at this time so we can get it back? As you're aware, all municipal departments are very far behind on permits of this kind. And then I go through to give him a little background on Matt. You spent some money in here. Thank you for your time. And here's the thing that I'm basing my request on right here is I get an email back from David DeRita the next day, and he says, I appreciate you reaching out on my behalf. We also understand the current climate situation we all face during these unprecedented times. Fire rescue does not control the time frame for another city, which is Lake Worth, or inspection division's ability to process, review, and issue permits. So, he's only responsible for when the permit came to him. And we don't know where the 3-month delay was between the initial application and when they rejected the permits. We just know the time frame that we got it back. We don't know where it was. We feel ample time has been given Palm Beach County Rescue and the entire team. We must at this time recommend you reach out to the city code enforcement and address your desire to involve your assistants, which is me as the landlord. And he concludes with, if the magistrate extends the time, we will of course follow suit, which simply means if I can get the approval from you for an extension, that he's got no problem with it. Would you like to see this document?
No, I think that's in the file. I mean, it sounds like that. Without bring this, it sounds like everyone's on this, recommending an additional 60 days to get this wrapped up. Sounds like you're asking for additional time as well.
Well, here's the problem. I would like to say 60 days is fine. I would be all for that, right? And let him get about it. But they are saying now that the permit is ready in this town hall, Lake Worth. And I don't know that for a fact. I got to check on that. And I don't know what is the timeline to get the permit finished?
We do have the building official, Peter Ringel, present, and he could certainly provide testimony as to this issue.
Let me hear from Mr. Engel real quick, if you don't mind, sir.
Go ahead.
For the record, Peter Ringel, building official with the city of Lake Worth Beach. This permit application was submitted December 11th, received by our department. It went to zoning first to see if the use was allowed in that area. It went to Palm Beach County Fire and was disapproved. And it went to the building department and it was disapproved on January 21st.
Excuse me, when was the date it first came in?
December 11th.
And it was disapproved January 21st.
No, it was disapproved by me January 21st.
Okay.
It also went to Palm Beach County Fire and it had to go to zoning first to make sure it was approved use before we even review it. Okay, we also had the Christmas holidays in there too. So
what about, not to interrupt you, what about the time, what about the issue that he already had an active permit?
Well, sir, let me hear from,
Okay.
and then I'll give you a chance to ask questions after he's finished, but I need to, keep this moving forward. I've got 100 other cases besides yours today.
I spoke with, after the disapproval comments were sent, I spoke with the design professional and we went over each one of my comments individually. They resubmitted on February 4th. Palm Beach County Fire reviewed and I believe disapproved it on February 9th, and there has been no resubmittal since.
So almost 2 months, there's been no resubmittal.
Correct.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Engel. Now, do you have any questions for the building official, sir?
Sure. Number one, he has an occupational license and a legal business in an adjacent location of mine for the last 4.5 years. And when he changed the address and he moved over there with his initial part of his supplies, there's 6 large machines there, 3 of which were in the other one, 3 of which he's purchased and ordered new. So we filed a change of address. He got in there, he got his occupation license. So I don't really feel as though that it's being correctly presented as just an outlaw business going in there and start from scratch and hiding from everybody.
Nobody is insinuating or implying or even saying that this is an outlaw business and that you're doing things sneaky. All that we're saying is there was an electrical permit that hasn't been applied for, obtained, and inspections done.
If I can correct that, there was an electrical permit applied for, but then only an electric permit. There was other work that took place there. And when the fire marshal went and did her inspection, that's when the issues came up of the other work, the installing the machinery in the space without the appropriate permits to install the machinery. And that's what this case is about.
When you move machinery and you have new machinery, you have to get permits to install it. You can't use it until it's permitted. There's nothing I can do to change that. So.
Is this back to me now? See,
Yes, sir.
okay. I understand, but I want to point out to you that, it was submitted on December the 4th and we didn't get a rejection till January. So there's 2.5 months. And I know we had the COVID and I know that, we're not trying to blame anybody here. We're just trying to get this project back online, get enough time. But if you give me the 60 days and I've hired a professional firm that he's paying for, and when we say work in comment is what it amounts is you submit your permit, then it goes to a turnstile and then whoever comments on it gets back. So now we've got this girl from Metro Design that does restaurants. Every time she checks on it, if she gets a comment, she jumps right on and gets it done. I don't know the backlog in the permit department right now. And basically, if you would say we had 60 days to finish it from the time the permit was issued, I'd be very happy.
Well, let me ask building official, in your professional opinion, do you reasonably feel like if there's good faith effort going forward from today, that 60 days is enough time
Yep.
on the city side to get this?
If the comments are appropriately addressed,
And that's what I mean,
Okay.
good faith effort on the respondent side.
Yeah.
to
as long as the comments are appropriately addressed. Right now, it's gone through zoning. It just has to go through myself, which is building. I do building, plumbing, electrical, and mechanical, and Palm Beach County Fire. Palm Beach County Fire is doing a 5-day turnaround on most permits now. I'm doing about a week turnaround, but the reviews are concurrent. They happen at the same time. So you're looking about a week for the turnaround if the papers were submitted.
Right, I think,
I have no problem with the 60 days.
okay.
I have
Not at
no
all.
problem with the 60 days item.
I think the big problem is that when we started, if we would have hired the person that does the plan review at the same time, get somebody that's doing the restaurants or doing this type of work all the time, that we wouldn't have had all these false starts and get going, like that. Now, will the 60 days, is that a 60-day to completion or is that a 60-day from issuance of the permit?
I think we would want to see in 60 days, the permit issued, the inspections done, and everything closed out. Is that what the city's recommendation?
Well, the only issue with that is suppose we get the permit, these subcontractors, the electrician, all of them are just making hay right now. I'm talking about the real market out there.
Well, here's what, I understand that, your concern, and I'm not going to order more than 60 days. My suggestion would be if you're getting close to that deadline and it looks like you may not make it, you need to stay in touch with the city, ask for an opportunity to request additional time. But today, based on what I've heard and the history of this, I think 60 days is a reasonable and appropriate amount of time.
Okay.
And I will just state for the record, any day that it is in plan review, from the time it's submitted till the time the review comments are given out, I always tell the code enforcement officers that we will deduct that from any overruns that happen on the case. So if you have 5 days of fines and it was in permit review for 3 weeks, we will take off 21 days. So you would have an extra 21 days.
All right. Then in this case, I am going to find proper notice. Respondent is present. The tenant is also present. Based on the testimony and the evidence that I've heard, I do find the property remains in violation as cited in the notice. I'm going to accept the city's recommendation. I'm going to allow 60 additional days for the respondent to bring these violations into compliance. During that 60 days, the unpermitted equipment may not be operated. If compliance is not achieved within the 60 days, I will order daily fines of $150 per day until compliance is achieved. And again, if you're getting close to the 60 days and you need more time,
Right.
speak to the city and see what your options are.
Can you put in your order what Mr. Ringel said, that if there's a long delay in the permit, then we get credit for those days?
Probably will not be in my order, but my understanding is that's how the city operates. You can rely on that. Okay. All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you so much.
Two.
We're going to go to page, okay, next we're going to page 12, item number 30, and we'll wait for the respondent to come in and on.
They got a page all themselves.
Yes. There you go.
Okay, then.
Yeah, over the top. Yeah, you can't let it go away. Watch, we can see it.
Jeremy, there's no respondent.
Waiting for one. Coming.
Okay, we all in the room? Let me go ahead and place gentlemen under oath. If you're going to be speaking to me, your testimony needs to be sworn. Do each of you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. The way we'll proceed is I'm going to hear from the city first. The inspectors are going to give me some information on the case. After they've concluded, you'll have an opportunity to ask questions or tell me anything additional that you have to tell me about the case. So let's go ahead and proceed.
This is case number 21-407. Property address is 1402 South Federal Highway. Property owner is Sunnyside in Florida, XILLC. Cindy Campbell with Palm Beach County Fire Rescue.
Good morning, I'm Inspector Campbell with Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. Palm Beach County Fire Rescue by Investigator Faircloth. He went to the address of 1402 South Federal Highway for an annual inspection. At that time, he found 3 violations. One of those violations included access to their electrical room, which include their fire alarm control panel. That is a requirement that we have access to inspect. So I came to the property on January 27th to conduct the re-inspections for those 3 violations.
What were the panel access and what were the other 2?
The other 2 were exit lights and
Knockbox.
there was the Knox box, which is the access. We have the fire extinguisher is out of date and exit sign missing.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So I did a re-inspection of the property on January 27th. All 3 violations were cleared. However, one of those violations that addressed the fire department access into that room, I obtained the key from the maintenance gentleman that met me on site. When I gained access into the electrical room, I found in that room alone, I found 10 violations that existed in that room once I gained access. However, the most concerning of all of the violations was the fact that I found the fire alarm control system was inactive. It was in trouble status. The logbook indicated the last service date was in 2018. When I spoke to the fire alarm contractor, Guardian Hawk Security, they did advise the system had been discontinued, both the monitoring and the servicing of the system in 2018, which states the system was inactive and they did not have a fire alarm system since then. I advised the maintenance manager immediately that they were going to have to be placed under a fire watch. And I called Victor, the property manager. We discussed it on the phone. I explained what the necessity for the fire watch was. I very thoroughly explained how to conduct a fire watch, and we were in agreement, and he did state that he would comply and take care of it that evening. However, since that date, compliance was never met with the fire watch. It was never initiated. I know the decision was left up to the owner per the property manager, who adamantly since then has refused to comply with the fire watch. A new radio communicator was installed to get the system up and running because the communicator that was installed was outdated and no longer efficient and per code. To install a radio communicator, it requires you to get a permit. And within that permit process, it has to have a plan review. It also has a fire department final inspection that is required, that we come out and witness the functionality of the test to confirm that it was both installed according to code and it works according to code. And we have to come and complete that permit by doing this final fire department test. It has gone through the permitting process, and it is in, I'm not sure what stage it's in right now. We're just waiting for the fire department final to be conducted, which has not been done to this day. I did do a re-inspection per Victor's request, the property manager. I came out on February 22nd to do a re-inspection of the building for the violations that were found. And during that time, all violations had been cleared and had been rectified on the property. The only violations that remained on that inspection report were in reference to, there were 3 of them, but all of them related to the status of the fire alarm system. However, on February 2nd, we did receive a report saying that there was 100% functionality of the report of the fire alarm system from the monitoring company, which is irrelevant to the fact it still needs that fire department final. However, on February 22nd, 20 days after we received a report from the fire alarm company stating it was 100% functioning, I did do my re-inspection and find the panel was still in trouble status, even after they stated it was 100%. The last physical inspection of the property was on February 22nd when I found it in trouble status. Seeing that the only violations after that point for that building or in reference to the fire alarm system, I have not physically returned. I'm just waiting for the verification from the alarm company and our plan review office to state that the fire department final was complete so I can clear those violations. But at this time, we're still adamantly refusing to comply with our fire watch.
Okay, let me, what's your recommendation in this case for?
Our recommendation is that they immediately initiate a fire watch on the property until this fire department final has been completed and we verify compliance of the system. If not, we're suggesting $250 a day fines be assessed until such time as they come into compliance with the fire watch, or we come out and do a fire department final and verify the system is 100% and they're clear.
Just so that I'm clear, so the closing of the permit for the radio transmitter will cure the issue with the alarm system and negate the need for the fire watch?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so one or the other has to be in place.
That's affirmative.
Understood. Okay, let me hear from respondents. Go ahead and tell me your name and address, sir, and then you can tell me about the case.
Victor Galuzzo, Your Honor, 1301 South 13th Drive, Deerfield Beach, Florida, 33441.
Yes, sir.
This all started back when we bought the property. There was no liens, no nothing on the property, according to the city. As soon as we bought the property,
May 2019, Patrick Grounds.
Well, if you're going to speak, I need to get your name and address as well, sir.
Patrick Grounds out there, 840 Northeast 69th Street, Boca Raton.
And,
I'm the owner.
okay, thank you, sir.
But we bought the property in May 2019 and it was all cleared.
Okay,
a few months later after that, when we tried to apply for our business license and stuff, they said, well, you need to do the dumpster enclosure, which was approved already by the city previously. Our lawyer called the city contacted her. That was all straightened out, but we did have to pour a concrete slab to have our dumpster put in place. As of now, we've done that, pulled the permit, it's totally complete. The final should happen on Monday, this upcoming Monday, along with
I'm gonna say something.
the alarm system. On Monday, it should be closed. That's the final for that.
Okay.
This Monday coming up.
When we bought the property, we had escrow for $10,000 from the seller if something was not cured, for example, the dumpster. But when everything was cleared, we released the escrow, $10,000. So that was used, should be used to buy the dumpster, for example, a new dumpster. So we released everything, and then 2 months later, suddenly we were not compliant, but it was the same dumpster. Nothing has happened. So
I'm
that's-
not clear on what the dumpster has to do with the fire alarm.
We started, the reason why we didn't get our business certificate, for example, was because of the dumpster. So this was going on. Okay, please, I will not interfere.
Yeah,
So
so
you're not before me for anything that has to do with a dumpster or business tax, or you're here because of a fire alarm, so.
when I tried to get my business license, then they said, oh, well, you have to have the fire department come and inspect, which I did. They send a fire inspector out, which I had 3 violations to do, and I took care of all 3. Then I called for reinspection. They came back out. They sent Officer Campbell out there, and then she happened to find a lot of more discrepancies with the property. But we've been complying with everything. I've taken care of everything. And the day that she told me that she was going to put me on fire watch on the 27th of January, on that Friday, 2 days later, I signed a contract with Hawk Alarm Systems to get everything up and running. 3 days later, they came out and tested everything, which I have a copy on 2/02/21, which everything is up and running. The trouble sign that she saw was a circuit problem, which could be fixed, but the signals were still getting sent to the alarm system company. And that's where we are right now.
Okay, but you never did the fire watch that they told you to do.
No, because our system was working and we have verification of that through the security company that we've been sending to Ms. Campbell too. So she has it and she knows it's running. It's verified by them.
Okay,
We sent it to the city immediately when they did it. And so the system has been running since we started it a couple of days later after we got the citation. And, you know, if we had a fire watch for 50 days, that is $528 per day. That's over,
I understand.
over $20,000. And we spent $200,000 in this property since we bought it. And that's, you know, how it is today. You cannot evict people because people can actually hide and not pay. So it's not a fantastic business to be in at the moment.
All right, thank you, sir. Anything
I
else?
have a copy of the thing from the fire alarm system saying that on 2/2, they came out and inspected and everything was up and running.
I have no reason to dispute that. I'll take your word for that. Is there anything else?
Yeah, you know, for us, it was important that the system was working. Of course, we don't want to have a building with no fire alarm, but it was inspected before and we had no citation. Anyway, now it's been running since then, and the functionality is the most important thing. And we did everything to comply, that it should work.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Anything else from the city?
Your Honor, I think we do have some further testimony that we'd like to provide based on fire rescue's understanding of the situation.
Captain Greeny of Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. I'm Cindy's supervisor. I've been with Fire Rescue for 37 years as an inspector. It doesn't matter. The point was, yes, he had 3 violations. We found more. Unfortunately, if we'd had access to the alarm room when the first person was there, these would all have been brought out at the time. We didn't have access. That's the first thing. Number 2, just because they're saying the system was fine. Number 1, they didn't have communication. They never pulled a permit for communication, which is required. We kept asking for the fire watch. We never had the fire watch. So it didn't cost him any money for a fire watch because it was never performed. Communication's a big thing. And if we have to do a fire final to ensure, they can say, Party and Hawk can say communication's working, until we do a physical functionality test that signals are sent to central station, there is no proof or there is no guarantee that the signals are working. So, we've tried to work with them when, I know Victor was sick for a while. I talked to Victor on the phone. We felt terrible he was sick because we're bothering him trying to get information and he was out sick. But unfortunately, you have to have a working fire alarm. You have to follow the rules. You have to have a permit. And this would have all been dealt with originally if we'd had access to that room where Cindy finally got access. So he didn't do a fire alarm. He still has not had the communication system done. Until the fire final is done, he's supposed to be under fire watch. He should have been under fire watch this whole time. We never told him he didn't have to be. We told him he had to be. So we defied our direct order to be under a fire watch. That's why we're here today. Plus they didn't do the permits not pulled or finished yet.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Do you gentlemen have either questions or follow-up testimony?
Please comment there on the permits thing.
The permits are pulled for the fire alarm system and everything is going to be closed this coming Monday because the city's coming out this Monday. It's scheduled
So
for
the
that.
fire department has to come out, not just the city.
The fire department is supposed to come out on that day.
But you still are supposed to have been under fire watch this whole time and he defied that. Unfortunately.
I think that according to your own citation, I have the wording on my phone. It says that the fire alarm can be verified by the security company servicing it, but the fire watch cannot be relieved. But the most important thing is that the system works, and that could be verified by the security company. It doesn't have to be verified by the.
We required you to pull a permit
We did,
for that.
and we did.
Let me finish, sir. We required you to do the fire watch. You refused. We found you needed a new communicator. It was installed without a permit. You may be communicating, but until we test every device, witness it, which is required by code, that the system is working, you were supposed to be under a fire watch, and you did not do it.
But it says, according to your wording, that the security company can verify it.
But you also had to pull a permit.
We
So
did.
that's
We
the
did.
problem.
We did.
Right, but the permit hasn't been closed. That was the problem. And yeah, now they verified it. What about all the months that they didn't?
I can read according to your own wording. The only way this property can be relieved from its fire watch is by the fire department authority having jurisdiction after completing a review of the reports given by the alarm company. The reports that given by the alarm company that indicate that all critical defiances have been corrected. The
Right, but
alarm
that was
company will
before I
not
knew.
have the authority to relieve the permit.
And that was before I was told
We
you
did that. We
switched
did
out
that
a
immediately.
communicator.
All right, hang on. You're all talking over each other at this point. I can't hear what any of you are saying. So,
We did
We
exactly what
did
we
tell
should
them
do.
that if the fire alarm system was functioning, once it was fully functional with no troubles, when it's fully functional, that we would release them. But when I told him that, I did not know they had switched out a communicator without a permit. So, once they switched out the communicator and we were notified, that all stops, and you have to finish out the permit before we were released.
thank you. Final from the respondent.
We pulled the permit and got the system working, verified by the security company, which was actually sent to Ms. Campbell, and also Ms. Campbell called them and verified that it was working immediately after we got cited. We did, and then we got a letter from the city that they could come and inspect it the 16th of March, and this was in the beginning of February, 1.5 months later. That means $528 per day for 45 days.
All right, thank you very much.
Despite the system is working, verified.
All right, first of all, in this case, I find proper notice, respondent is present. Based on the testimony and the evidence that I've heard, actually, I need a little bit of technical guidance here. I think the testimony bore out that the property is now in compliance with everything except the violations that have to do with the alarm system, and I'm not sure which NFPA.
Officer Campbell can address which specific violations are.
Yes, the violations are in reference to the, let's see.
It looks like is 1.7.17.1 still in violation. That says fire watch required.
Right, their fire watch is the one that they're non-compliant with, which is what this hearing is actually specific to the fire watch itself, not the annual inspection.
So
That was
are
just
all the
one.
other code sections that were cited in compliance at
Other-
this point?
Yes, sir. As far as well, I can't verify the fire system is compliant because it hasn't been tested by the fire department yet, so I cannot.
Which one is that?
Let's see,
Is that 14.2.2.2.2,
what's the title of that one?
fire alarm system inspection, testing and maintenance?
Nope, that's been cleared.
Okay,
Okay, we have fire alarm deficiencies shall be corrected.
which one is that?
That is NFPA 72, 14.2.2.2.2.
That's what it
We cannot
says.
verify that it's been corrected because that is,
Okay, so so that one is current.
no, that one we cannot verify that the deficiencies have been corrected because like I said, our last physical inspection, it was still in trouble status. I haven't received a report saying since I saw that deficiencies were corrected.
What about 13.1.8, all fire protection systems are in operating condition? Is that,
Negative, sir, because it also says no troubles on panel and last inspection, we saw there were still troubles on the panel.
So that's, what he needs is to know which ones of those are still active.
That is active. Okay, yes, ma'am. The one he just said is active. 13.1.8 is still
Okay.
active. 14.2.2.2.2 is still active. The fire watch
1.7.17.1?
is still active. Yes, sir.
Okay, so those are the three that remain, and that's my recollection of the testimony would capture those three descriptions. All others have complied, though?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Now, look, I understand that, and I'm glad that you finally got the permit and you got a final inspection coming on Monday, but the fire codes and the life safety codes are, as the fire rescue personnel have testified, it until they have signed off on it, you're still in violation, even though you may be 100% comfortable that everything's working, everyone's talking to each other, and you've got a secure system. Until they sign off on it, you're still in violation. And you should have had that fire watch in place when they told you to until you're signed off. So I am going to find the property remains in violation of NFPA 72, 2016, 14.2.2.2.2, NFPA 1, 2018, 13.1.8, and NFPA 1, 2018, 1.7.17.1. All other violations that were listed in the notice have complied. But my order will require an immediate fire watch until this inspection occurs on Monday. If it's not in place by close of business today, daily fines of $250 per day will start tonight for each day until fire rescue signs off that your alarm system is working correctly. And I will sign that order. Thank you very much.
And what about the,
Administrative costs of $425.29 are also awarded. Thank you. All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
This file, I'm not sure which one of you needs it back. There you go.
Okay. Get this back?
Yes.
Also, okay, yeah, because we need to talk to you about being involved.
Good morning. By the end of the day, I'll have it remembered again.
okay, next, we're going to go to page 20 of the agenda, item number 50. Case number 20-2538, property address is 815 North. Property owner is Ricardo Olid, building inspector Jeremy Scott.
Don't believe he's here today.
No, he is not. I did not see where he has signed in.
And tell me, which agenda item is it again?
Item number 50.
50, okay, I got it.
Been sworn?
Jeremy, have you been sworn?
No,
in?
I haven't.
Let me go ahead and place you under oath. Do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Ricardo Oler, 815 North C Street, Lake Worth, Florida, 33460, case 202538. I found the property to be in violation of code sections 23.2-21, permit required for accessory structure, permit required for a fence, permit required for concrete slab in rear yard, permits required for window replacement and or infill of window openings. Not on the paper here that I have, he also has a multifamily dwelling in a single family residential area. I issued a notice of violation at 11/12/2020. That was returned to us. He's currently in compliance. The property was re-inspected 12/10/2020 and 2/15/2021. Recommendation time 4/25/2021. Fine of $150 per day plus the administrative cost of $425.29 to be paid by 4/25/21.
Okay, so respondent is not present, but you had returned certified mail and then you posted the property, so I will find proper notice in this case. The property remains in violation. It hasn't complied yet.
Yeah, as of yesterday, yes.
All right, and the recommendation is to allow till April 25th or $150 per day after that.
Correct.
I'll accept that recommendation. Well, first of all, based on the testimony and the evidence that I've seen, I will find the property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation, allow until April 25th of 2021 for compliance. Thereafter, daily fines of $150 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved. The city is awarded its administrative costs of $425.29, also payable by April 25th.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bear with me. I'm having to text to have the next person come in. Yeah, I've got I told her I would text her, but can you have them bring in Woolen, 5702?
Oh, gotcha.
And that's Eileen. It's going to be page 19, item 47. Okay. We're going to go to page 19, item number 47, case number 20-2055. Property address is 702 North L Street, number 4. Property owner is Harry and Karen Woolen. Officer Beware. Let me get. Okay, I've just been informed that we're going to reschedule this for the April 29th agenda so that you can work with Ms. Boulware
Thank you. My apologies for the problems.
Oh, that's fine.
It's all good. Thank you.
So rescheduled.
to April 29th.
Am I done?
You're done, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bear with me. I don't have the sign-in sheet, so I've got to find it. She needs a sign-in sheet for the phone numbers, and I need it to know how to call. Maybe you can make it. Have it written somewhere. Okay, here we go. Bobby. Bobby, you're up. Give me 1 second. The next case is page 6, item number 15, 20-894. Property address is 1902 Ramsey Drive. Property owner is Sarah and Martin Micaiah. Officer Hicks. Yes, you'll need to be sworn in.
Swear or affirm under penalties of perjury, your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I did.
Thank you, sir. Have responded on this one?
Yes, we're just waiting for
Okay.
them to arrive. And my texts are not being delivered, so let me go run out and tell her.
Okay, already got Mr. Hicks sworn in. Testimony will need to be under oath. So let me go ahead and swear in whoever's going to be testifying. Do each of you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right, thank you very much. I'm going to hear from the city's witness first. After the city has concluded its presentation, then I'll come back over to you folks. You'll have an opportunity to tell me about the case at that time and ask any questions that you may have, okay? Mr. Hicks, whenever you're ready.
Good morning. Case number 20-0894, owners Martin and Sarah McCoya from 1902 Ramsey Drive. This was a field observation of section 23.4-18, on-site storage. There should be no more than one portable storage unit per site at one time and no larger than 130 square feet. A site permit is required. No permit has been obtained or applied for. Sections 12-17, remove garbage cans from public view. That violation has been complied. Section 23.4-4, improper fencing material attached to gate. Material has been removed. That violation has complied. We issued a courtesy notice on 2/18 of 2020. It was re-inspected on 3/23 of 2020 and found to be a non-compliant. We issued a formal notice of violation hearing by certified mail on 10/21 of 2020. The certified mail was received on 10/24 of 2020. The property was re-inspection for the violations on 3/23, 5/19, 6/19, 7/8, 8/4, 9/8, 10/8, 12/8 of 2020, 1/25, and 3/24 of 2021, and found to be in non-compliance. Photographs were taken of the violation. I did have personal contact with the property owners. City's recommendation time would be April 25th of 2021, or pay fines of $100 per day, plus the administrative cost of $425.29, also to be paid by 4/25 of 2021.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hicks. Let me come over to respondents. Whoever's going to be speaking first, if you'll tell me your name and address, then you could tell me about the case.
All right, my name is Martin Mukaya, and first of all, my disclaimer is we've never been used to getting ourselves in this kind of circumstance because we love Lake Worth. We've been here for about 6 years, and we always do what is right because that's the easiest way to survive in any location. So just to say, this situation is one of a kind. We've never been able to get ourselves involved in this situation. So, in that regard, the first time you actually gave us the citation, you stopped. I can't actually remember when when we got our first citation. Because, do you remember?
Well, I met Mr. Hicks,
And ma'am, I need to get your name on the record.
I'm sorry, Sarah Mokaya.
Thank you, ma'am.
The first time I met Mr. Hicks was December of 2020. I was in the house because I worked from home, and my husband was like, please come outside and speak with the city person. And so I came outside and let me grab my book here. And it was September 2020. It's the first time I met him. He goes to me, he goes to me, you have to get rid of your storage unit. And I asked him why, and he just responded, you can't have it. And I kept asking him why. He did not say that it was in violation of any code. He did not say that I needed any, there was in violation of any Lakewood ordinances. He did not say it was in violation of any building, Florida building code. He just kept saying, you need to get rid of it. And I kept saying, I don't understand why you have to get rid of it. And he just kept saying, you can't have it. And he said that if in a month that we didn't get rid of it, that he was going to give us a citation. And I was, after that initial meeting, I was very confused because I did not know what the problem was as far as the problem with having this the storage container. So I went to the Lake Worth City ordinances to see if I could locate anything that would prohibit us from having a shipping container. And my search came up empty. So the following month, I received a citation in the mail. And at the time, I was able to see what code we were actually violating. And when I looked it up, it was referencing a portable storage container. And right away I know it must have been a mistake because Lake Worth's own definition of a portable storage container and various other definitions of the portable storage container is something more like a pod, which is a small aluminum storage unit that people rent monthly, where companies will usually drop it off. And people will fill it up and then the company takes it back to their warehouse. That's not what we have. We have a big, huge shipping container, which is completely different than a portable storage container. The shipping container that we have is those kinds that you see on barges or that you see on semi-trailers. They are not very portable and you need usually a special tow truck or a crane to bring them to the location. That's why we're here, because we don't think we have a portable storage container. And we thought it was a mistake that they gave us a citation. There's a bunch of differences between what you guys consider a portable storage container and what we have as a shipping container. I can show you pictures. I have pictures of that.
The pictures have been scrolling the whole time. I see exactly what you have. It's a great big cargo container, exactly how you described it.
Yes, that's exactly what we describe it as. But a portable storage container is not what we have, which is like a pod.
So your testimony is that what you have is a permanent fixture on your property?
It's something, yes, because it is because.
Let me ask the question then. Did you go through site plan review and get site plan approval to have an accessory structure on your property?
We did not know that we needed something like that. I mean, if that's something that we need, definitely we'll do that. But he did not say that in a citation, or he didn't even address that with us. All he just kept saying is you can't have it, you can't have it, you can't have it.
Well, and forgive me, I mean, that question was slightly tongue in cheek. I mean, this is a cargo container that is, I mean, your testimony acknowledged yourself that they're on semi trucks, they're on cargo ships, they're meant to be transported. It's not a permanent fixture on your property, and it's exceptionally too big to be there, and it exceeds the amount of time that the city code allows for portable storage units to be on the property, which is 21 days in any 12-month period.
Okay, the storage, the shipping container that we actually have, according to, because first of all, we have actually had that since the year 2017. And previously, what we actually had right there was a shed. And in the year 2017, about around October, we had the hurricane. And when the hurricane came, the shed that we actually had right there got dismantled and the fence broke. And according to okay, according to the Lakewood, it's fine. According to the Lakewood, as in she's a law student, so when she went to the Lakewood Beach building permit to look for a reason why we needed a permit for that, according to this resource that she was able to get, it said, according to the Florida statutes 553.79, it's, yes, it says the pursuant to the city's local amendments to Florida Building Code 2017, 6th edition, City of Lakewood Beach building permits are not required for the replacement or repair work having a value of less than $1,000. So when she was actually able to obtain this, and we were able to obtain the container for $1,000. So because of this, it gave us, it was something that we needed to obtain a permit. We will have actually obtained a permit. But according to this regulation or these ordinances, which are written by the Lakewood, which is us who, the people who are Lakewood, because the ordinances are supposed to be for us who are here, and we're the people who actually advise Lakewood people to put these ordinances, which is the betterment for the society, put the regulations which says permits are not required for a replacement as long as.
So let me ask you a question, because make sure I understand your testimony. Your testimony is that you had a shed,
Right.
and you replaced it with a commercial cargo freight container.
Yeah, it's a shipping container, right? So.
Okay. And the building official is here, and I'll be happy to hear from him, but and I'm not a building official, but I'm pretty sure that when you replace a shed with a commercial cargo container, you're not replacing like for like. You're taking out what was there and putting something completely different. That's not what that means. And it never has been, and I suspect it will be, at least in the remaining days that I'm doing this kind of work.
So according to what we actually understood, it says if you're replacing, for example, just using the what he just said, if you're replacing, for example, according to this, it says, let's say we decide to replace an air conditioning unit. There are different ways an air conditioning unit can come as small as that chair, or it can come as large as a different chair. But as long as you're replacing it and it's less than $1,000, you do not require a permit.
I appreciate your testimony. I completely disagree with your legal analysis, sir. When you replace something, it's like for like. You can't have this air conditioner and replace it with this air conditioner and not be required to go through the permitting process. Absolutely. But I'm not going to get into a legal debate with you. Let me go ahead and hear from the building official and get his testimony on the record.
This is Peter Ringel, building official with the city of Lake Worth Beach. He is indeed quoting what it says, but there is some misunderstanding there. The value of the project is less than $1,000, but it cannot include anything that is structural in nature. Okay, so if you replace a shed, it doesn't matter if it's $15 or $50,000, you need a permit. Period.
All right, do you have any questions for the building official?
But how comes it says, you actually acknowledge and say what we actually stated is correct? Is
Right.
that it?
But you have to read the complete statement. It says it cannot include anything of a structural nature. Okay, we can discuss this afterwards, but you're completely misreading it. I get this all the time. It's less than $1,000. I don't need a permit. You need permits for anything that is considered structural in nature.
All right, do you folks have anything else that you'd like to tell me?
Yes, we just want to reiterate, like I said, we don't have, we just don't think we have a portable storage container. We have a shipping container. The difference is, the shipping containers weigh between, 3,000 to 4,000 pounds, where portable containers only go 2,000 pounds. The construction of shipping containers are different. They are made from a quarantine steel that would stand heavy machinery, and loading and unloading. They can take up to a 60,000 pound capacity, whereas these portable storage containers that we are supposed to have only are steel frame. Sizes are different, to the price difference. Shipping containers can be anchored. They have corner casters where you can put rebar in them. They have twist locks that you can anchor them to the ground, and they also have steel chains where you can chain them to the ground, whereas portable storage containers don't. So a shipping container can technically be made to be a permanent area, whereas a portable storage container cannot. So if we don't have the item, I don't see how we can get a citation for having an item if we don't technically have the item. And also to here, if you want to give me that. And courts have distinguished between the two in Pods Incorporated versus Porta Store, which was a United States Court of Appeals. They did distinguish that a Pods was a portable storage unit, whereas in Lee County, which was decided by the District Court of Appeals in the state of Florida, they did distinguish that that shipping containers that the gentleman had shipping containers. The shipping containers were different. So there are are actually two different items.
I have a question based on your testimony or your argument. Is that permanently chained or bolted to the ground?
It's not, currently it's not, no.
Is
And,
there anything else that you folks would like to tell me? I need you to wrap this up.
sorry?
Final comments.
Okay, final comments is, first of all, as I actually began by saying, we have been living in Lakewood for about 6 years. We have never gotten ourselves involved in any kind of situation such as this. And according to what we have actually offered or provided in front of you or in front of everybody here, it's displaying that we were trying to do what is right. If we would have actually wanted to do what is wrong, because since the year 2017, we've actually been having that container. And it was really surprising that we were suddenly provided with this citation in October of last year, which actually surprised us that we had actually done something that was wrong. Because again, we wouldn't have actually gotten ourselves in this situation because what we actually used was what the ordinances that the city has actually written. And suddenly, if there was something that we would have done, lovely city and code enforcement would have actually told us where we had actually gone wrong. But there was no time at all did he actually ever come and talk to us, because according to us, we are taxpayers. We pay our city taxes, which is actually part of how he gets his paycheck. And for that reason, he works for us. If he works for us, the least amount of thing that he would have actually done was just to inform us where we had gone wrong. The first time I actually even ever had a conversation with him was last week, that he actually came and said, have you got the storage unit tied down? I was actually, first of all, I was taken aback by that comment. I wish he would have actually told us at the beginning, you know what, sir? Where you've actually made a mistake is right here, and this is the first thing that you can actually do to correct it. He did not take time to tell us where we'd actually gone wrong. He actually decided to offer a citation to us. And suddenly, according to what we had actually done, was what actually the statement that I'd actually written to you, not written to you, that I actually read, that says, if you're replacing something which is less than $1,000, you do not need a permit. If we actually needed a permit, there is no reason why I would have actually decided to purchase that storage unit for less than $1,000.
All right, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, the city, based on, here's some misunderstanding of what would be required for this. The city's willing to extend its time to 90 days so that perhaps they can work with the building official to understand what would be required to keep the storage container so that they have a full understanding of that.
That'll be June 23rd.
And I provided,
That's what I was just trying to look for. What is the date?
June 23rd.
Thank you.
I provided my business card, so to help walk them through the process. Yolanda Robinson, City of Lake Worth Beach.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Okay, so in this case, I first of all make a finding of proper notice. Respondents are present. The city has the proper notice documentation in the file. For the record, the notice was delivered on October 24th of 2020, which contained both a description of the violation as well as the code section regarding on-site storage with what I believe is a very clear description of what the violation was alleged to be and what the corrective action should be. Based on the testimony that I've heard and the evidence that I've seen, I will find that the property has complied with City Code Sections 12-17 and 23.4-4, but remains in violation of City Code Section 23.4-18 regarding portable storage units. I appreciate the arguments, but there's no question in my mind that this is no, it's not a pod. It's significantly bigger, and it's significantly been there for a significantly longer amount of time than the code allows, which is why it's in violation. I think the city is being generous, and I will accept that generosity and incorporate it into my order. I will allow until June 23rd of 2021 for this to be brought into compliance. In the meantime, as the city has suggested, I urge communication between the city and the respondent to work through whatever issues need to be worked through to get this into compliance, whether it's through the permitting process or by removal, whatever. It doesn't matter to me how you comply. It just matters to me that compliance is achieved. I will order daily fines of $100 per day if compliance is not achieved by June 23rd, 2021, and I will award the city's administrative costs of $425.29, which will also be payable by June 23rd. All right, thank you folks very much.
Yeah.
Next is page 31, item number 81, case number 20-1850. Property address is 813 Truman Avenue. Property owner is Joseph and DeValey Henrizzi, Officer Turek.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
You need to be.
You've been placed under oath?
Not yet.
All right, go ahead and swear you in. Swear or affirm under penalties of perjury, your testimony today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you. You can have a seat. Good morning, folks. Whoever's going to be speaking to me today about the case needs to be sworn in. If you'll please raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, thank you. You can put your hands down. Can you just, and just for the record, we're obviously using a translator. Can you explain? I'm going to hear from the city's witness first, and after they've completed their presentation, then I'll come back and they can tell me about the case.
My name is Code Officer Fedeline Boulware, and I'll be translating.
Thank you. If you can explain the process, and then we'll go ahead and hear from the city.
Okay, so I would be
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and proceed. And then you're going to translate her testimony as well. So maybe go a little slower so that there's time to translate.
And Fedeline, if you could either speak louder or come closer to the mic so we can make sure we get you on record.
Okay, Suella Turek for the City of Lake Worth, Beach Code Enforcement. This is case number 20-1850. Joseph and Diwali Henreem. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. 813 Truman Avenue. The property location is the same, 813 Truman Avenue. There's just one violation. It's for a permit number 21661. For the legalization of a garage conversion. This property was noticed on 7/24/20, re-inspected 8/18. Again, 3/1. The certified mail was not delivered. It was posted on 2/24/21. Photographs, I would like a recommendation time of May, 60 days to May 25th, 2021 at $75 per day if not complied. Say it again, 5/25/21. This is, Peter is going to testify as to the conditions and what is needed to finish the legalization. I have photos here for you, Mr. Magistrate, and I have the disapproved permits.
Yeah, I think all that's in the file here. And
Okay.
I was going to ask, do we know if this is even doable? So let me hear from the building official.
The permit is currently in the review process.
Hold on 1 second and
I'll let
let her explain
So,
what the testimony was.
Yes, thank you.
5 mai pou ka fil permit la. So pa fil permit la, y a charge $65 chaque jour.
What's the permit number again?
Donc, pou fè permit la avant 27 mai, pou baga permit, bon faut fè permit la. Pour garage ou fè tourner chambre.
What do you need, the case number?
No.
661.
661. Okay, thank you.
21.
Ou déjà t'as fait permit la, on te fait garage chambre.
Oui.
Attends un petit moment. He said that he already had applied for the permit and got authorization before conversion of garage.
Before conversion?
He had got a permit and got authorization first.
You want to address that?
This is Peter Ringel with the City of Lake Worth Beach Building Official. I can speak to this case. They have submitted an application. There was a permit to build the garage and the permit was approved. But the garage was converted and changed after the permits were closed out, and that's what this case is about.
Let me make sure I understand. So permit to build the garage,
They have a permit to build the garage.
but not as living space.
Correct.
Correct.
And the living space transition occurred after the permit process occurred.
That is correct.
Understood. Thank you.
Permit 21-661 has been disapproved by zoning because it is single-family dwelling area, and they've created a duplex for all intents and purposes. So the permit has not been approved and could not be approved in its current form. So it needs to be turned back to a single-family dwelling. If they have, and they would need to meet with zoning and building to see what would be entailed, but normally they cannot have two kitchens. You know, so the pictures clearly show there's a kitchen there. So the kitchen would need to be removed in order to, and the appropriate permits for the rest of the work that is done there in order to bring it into compliance with the codes.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and translate.
Permis de
That test.
c'est bon là pour permis d'aller pour faire un garage. Il va pouvoir faire une chambre. Peut-être sur les permis d'aller fini pour garage là, tout va être OK. Mais il va faire garde dans une chambre ou mettre un kitchen tout va là-dedans et laisse arriver bon fine. So yo pas pour permettre là pour faire chambre là. Peut-être qu'à la seconde on casse manier parce que vous avez un duplex là-dedans. Ça veut dire vous font kitchen, ça on l'autre aussi le roi ou l'autre chambre qu'on va faire là-dedans quand même. So faut faire chambre là tourner back en garage. Puis yo pas prouver.
Bon, l'aime permis là. Nous faisons, bon, ça fait travail là, tout garder pour moi. Fini, fait là, seul ça demande, est-ce que le cas était pour le garage là pour les tirer? Dis non, pas tirer pour le garage là, là c'est bon, qu'il est, on va vendre là. Mais après ça, me fini, ça le fait, c'est quand on t'a dit, quand il a acheté, million de badoum, million de toilettes.
Bah, ou pas de venir dans le garage là, c'est pas vrai?
Ça m'a dit là.
C'est dans le pas dans le garage là.
En garage là.
Yeah, but ça, yo voulait pour faire, c'est chambre fait dans le garage là, faut faire tourner back en garage encore.
Non, chambre fait dans le garage là, côté chambre qui est faite dans le garage là lui-même. C'est celle lui-même, et avec un closet et fait tourner closet par rapport au garage là. Après ça, on va faire un qui nous, là-dedans.
Non.
Tout ça me fait, c'est ça me déguette. Vinjouen, yoté là déjà, badoum t'es là, toilette t'es là, tout bagage t'es là là-dedans. L'enfant rien nouveau.
But il est dans le caille là, il est pas dans le garage là. So, sauf travail.
And so can we, let me have him stop, and maybe now would be a good time to tell us all what's being said before we get too far
What
down.
he's telling me is the bathroom, the closets was already inside the house, but I told him everything's about the garage. You got a permit for a garage and it was supposed to just be a garage and you convert it into like a mini apartment. It has to be brought back to a garage.
Okay.
He said everything was already done within that permit before the permit was finalized and closed.
Okay.
This is Peter Ringel with the City of Lake Worth Beach. I did review the property file and I did review the history for the permit for the construction of the garage. There was a bathroom in the garage originally, but there was no permit in any of the plans that have been approved for the garage.
So did the garage permit require the removal of the bathroom?
No.
Okay.
No, in order to bring this into compliance, they would need to remove the kitchen and apply for permits for the additional walls that was put in the garage that were not on the original permit when the garage was constructed.
So the bathroom is not an issue.
The bathroom is not an issue.
Can you explain that? I think that's important from what I'm hearing.
On s'est battu pour tirer, on vient pour tirer kitchen là, avec pour nous te mettre dans le garage là, nous gain pour nous tirer, nous gain pour nous On permit pour poner, but for no take kitchen na. Ba for no pas un problème, fait ba for no take anta la. But the kitchen na met kitchen gen pour la le. You got till 25 May. If it's pas retiré, they're gonna start d'ap charge you $75 chaque jour. So nan deju la moute sou $150. If you need every day, la just vin pi place.
Oui, kitchen nan.
You got for take kitchen na. Ave fon pon permis pour pono kay la. He needs a permit for the structure, like the wall structures, right? But if you want permis pour pono no mettre dans le garage là. But kitchen na gotta go.
On va permis pour faire qui?
Where pono te mettre dans le garage là, prend permit pour lui. But for take kitchen na.
On va permis pour
90. What date's 90?
June 23rd.
yeah, non, on peut prendre ça dans le blanc, mais Kayla, et si tu as tes gars ouais, tout ça fait dans Kayla, c'est pas comme d'ado vraiment, côté gars là, ils viennent pour vision, qui fait là, c'est les mêmes les pour me tirer. Après ça, bagan, il y a un qui fait encore, c'est pas la vision.
Let me ask you, maman no bagay. Le te fait un permit la kitchen te là.
Il était devant.
Il pas dans le garage là, right?
Mais vous comprenez que garage là sous
Maman. Peter,
Yes.
when the final inspection was completed, was the kitchen there?
There was no kitchen in the original plans that are on file with the building department for the garage.
Yo, l'on te fait un permit là, ou pas te mettre ta kitchen là dedans.
Non, je ne pas permettre là. Et je ne permettre là pour me tirer mes bagages qui étaient dans le garage, planche toute l'autre bagage pour me fixer exactement le pour me fixer.
Yeah, but l'on prend un permit for faire ça, tu vas faire un permit là only, ou pas faire par pièce en plus. Parce que si tu fais pièce en plus, il y a bon problème ça. So it has to stay within the permit. On the permit là, c'est mon caractère.
Même tout ça encore. Je devais une toilette en dedans.
Non, le toilette là, pas un problème.
Bassin, couvert en dedans. Devant ici encore. Et bien, côté pour critique dans et tout bagaille comme si vous connaissez le shower pour de l'eau chaude. Te gen là dedans, des vidéos de vous ça là dedans. Mais c'est pas là. Garage là non. Dans la colline boy ici devant pour la grande là.
I understand. Bon, c'est le problème qui vient, c'est kitchen qui est dans le garage là. Ça, c'est mon niveau pour retirer, puis pour un permit pour nous mettre en dehors, pour faire séparer.
All right, so where are we?
He's still talking about the bathroom and how everything was already there. So I told him that the only thing they want you to do is apply for a permit for the wall structure that's put up and remove the kitchen. Because when you do extra work outside of a permit, you get.
Right, that's correct. We're not talking about the bathroom. Forget the bathroom.
All right.
Your Honor, the city is willing to increase its recommendation to 90 days to give them more time.
Probably a good idea.
Perhaps understand more about what's going to require for compliance.
And that was the June 23rd date.
Okay. You got about 3 mois, plutôt 2 mois.
Yeah. Better. So the thing that what they're trying to do is trying to turn the garage into like a single family room. Is that okay? Can they do that?
That's a building question.
No.
Well, we're not going to work out the details of the permit at this setting. It's clear to me that this violation does exist. What I'm going to do is allow them until June 23rd to get either get the proper permits for the kitchen and the wall, or remove the kitchen and the walls that were not permitted. But that gives them 3 months to work with the building department and get this done. But if it's not done by June 23rd, then I am going to impose daily fines of $75 per day until it does get done. So go ahead and explain that, please.
June.
23rd. You'll give them a favor because I'm not gonna.
She said, can you write it down? Because she won't remember, they won't remember the exact date.
They'll get an order.
Do they understand?
Oh, and also I am going to award the administrative costs of $425.29, which would also need to be paid by the June 23rd date.
The kitchen has to come out, but they could apply for a permit for the wall structures. But they have to do this, they have to follow all the steps.
May I add?
But the kitchen, it just has to go.
It has to go.
That
On the wall, they don't have to break it down.
They gotta apply for a permit.
I'm gonna provide my card for you, so you can, I'll walk you through the process. Just give me a call. Yolanda Robinson.
Ça c'est boss man, li gon sa just la le do.
So kitchen na for no skill, for no being permit to leave. You don't have a permit for the wall, he has to break it down.
Tell her, give me a call.
She has to give her a call. She just said just give her a call.
Give her a call.
Anything else?
Not unless there's,
I forgot one more thing. If s'il dépasse 3 mois, s'il dépasse, y a charge $75 each day, but peut-être ou vin nan hearing aujourd'hui, y a charge $425 avec 39 cents. How much time do they have to pay the administrative cost?
Same.
June 23rd.
If you about 3 mois pour payer comme ça tout.
Hold on.
When you come to a hearing, it's administrative cost, and administrative cost is $425.29. If you like the letter, when it comes to the posting, the certified letter, all that information is actually listed in there.
I didn't know that. They have that paper.
Not 3 mois. 3 mois pour prendre permit là, 3 mois pour payer comme là. But sous prendre permit là, you could avoid the $75 a day.
Donc, permettre là, au début,
The same way you got the permit for the garage. You got that permit là online?
At this point, I think that this needs to be offline. We've got a lot more cases to go through and these discussions can happen outside. Thank you.
We're going to page 33, item number 86, case number 20-2065. Property address is 1210 South D Street.
Okay, this.
Property owner is Bahar Angelo, Officer Turek.
1210 South D.
Yes, ma'am.
He left.
He left?
Yeah. You want to skip it?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
1210 South D? Okay.
No.
No?
Say South D.
1210 South D Street.
No. 1120.
Okay, so we're gonna, first is,
Oh, the guy, he left.
Yeah,
he left, okay. So we're not gonna call that one yet.
That was Angelo. He left. I can read that later.
Okay, bear with me, I have to find our next one. Okay, we're gonna go to page 29, item number 77, case number 20-1380. Property address is 1120 South Ridge Street. Property owner Betty A. Arthur, Officer Turek.
So
let me, I need to swear you in, sir, so that your testimony is under oath. Do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. I'm going to hear from the city first, and after they've concluded their presentation, then I'll come back and hear from you, okay? Thank you. Go ahead.
Stu Elatoric for the City of Lake Worth Beach, code case number 201380, Betty and Perry Arthur, address 1120 South Ridge Street. The issued a courtesy notice violation on 3/19/2020. Re-inspected the property several times. An extension was granted from 2/5/21 to 3/25/21. Property was re-inspected on 3/12/21 and again yesterday. Recommendation of time would be 60 days. May 25th, 2021 at $75 a day to be paid, the 4/25/29 to be paid 5/25. The violations include trash cans in public view, 1217. Abandoned inoperable vehicle, 1539. General requirements, 2-75.6.2 to please do the following. Clean and paint driveway and porch. Porch was painted. The driveway is not painted. Pressure clean sidewalks, public and private. That is complied, I'm sorry. The structure's been painted as well. Okay, so the only violation under 275 was to paint the driveway. Forgive me for that. I think that's on your copy, sir. Fire safety, 2-756.6 to remove all shutters on the windows. Parking, storing motor vehicle trailer 23.4-11 to remove the trailer from driveway or screen from view. 23.4.10 is parking on the lawn, and those are all the violations.
What was the building permit?
That was, I resolved that violation because his concrete wall fence has been there,
So that's complied,
resolved,
resolved. But it's not in violation.
correct.
Gotcha. Thank you. Yes, sir. Go ahead and tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the case.
My name is Perry Arthur, 1120 South Ridge Street, Lakewood, Florida.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And yeah, she came out and I work 7 days a week. I work overnight, so it was a little hard for me to get everything done. She came out there yesterday. The only thing I had to do was the driveway, move the trailer. My yellow truck is legally for the road, but she didn't see the tag. It was inside the truck on the glass. I painted the driveway and moved all vehicles, the trailer and the yellow truck, and put it on the side behind the gate. So everything is done complete.
Okay, so city's recommending an additional 60 days, which is May 25th. And they'll need to come out and inspect everything and sign off on it.
She came out there yesterday morning. I was still at work, but when I came home, I went and I completed everything that needed to be done.
All right, so you'll need to have them come out for a final inspection then, so she can sign off on everything.
I got some pictures if you want, but
I'll be happy to look at whatever you want to show, sir. I mean, I can't comply it out. I can look at the pictures, but she's still gonna have to come out.
come by. She ready to talk anyway.
Okay.
Come by.
All right. All right, then, in this case, I do find proper notice. I will find that the property remains in violation of all the code sections except for 23.2-21. And to just note that on 2-75.6.2, the only thing that was remaining as of the hearing was the painting of the driveway, which you've testified you've already completed, so they just need to come out and sign off on that. I will, for the purposes of the order, allow an additional 60 days to bring everything into compliance, which is May 25th of 2021. After the May 25th date, if there are outstanding violations, it would be daily fines of $75 per day until compliance is achieved. I'll award the city's administrative costs of $425.29, which is also payable by May 25th. All right, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. You say it's complied, I can come
Yeah,
sooner.
whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we're going to go to page 30, case number 20-1607. Property address is 1002 South B Street. Property owner is Raymond and Christine Gonzalez, Officer Turek.
Okay, and while you're getting set, sir, I'm going to need to place you under oath so that your testimony is sworn. If you could raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you very much. You can put your hand down, and I'm going to hear from the city's code enforcement officer first. After she's completed her presentation, then I'll come back and hear from you, okay? Thank you very much. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Sue Ella Turk for the City of Lake Worth Code Compliance, case number 20-1607, Raymond and Christine Gonzalez. Property location is 1002 South B Street. Violations are 23.2-21 to apply, obtain final and close permit for driveway. Close the approved permit for the fence, which is permit number 18-646. Remove the new section added on the exterior of existing fence or reopen permit for the new section. This notice was for violation on 6/10/2020, re-inspected several times. The certified mail was delivered November 6th. Property was also, and the formal notice of violation was 11/3/20. Property was re-inspected 11/3 and again yesterday to check for permits. My recommendation of time is 60 days, May 25th, 2021, at a fine of $75 per day, administrative costs of $425.29 to be paid within 60 days as well.
All right, thank you. Yes, sir, go ahead. And go ahead and put your name on the record, and then you can tell me about the case.
My name is Raymond Gonzalez. I do have the application for permit of the driveway, but it was sent back to me last night because I missed out some of the, I didn't even put my name in there, but everything here is complete. I dropped this one last week, and I also have the renewed permit for the picket fence, which I need to close for inspection.
Okay, so it sounds like the permitting process is moving along. City's recommending an additional 2 months to finish the work, which would be May 25th. Are you comfortable you can get it done within that time frame?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me, sir?
Yes, I also would like to take note of the, because I had a violation also, the blue tarp was closed, and the violation also of the north side fence that I'm working on right now without permit that I stopped, so it was closed. I'm working on the permit right now also, so I could resume work for that because I know that fence will not last come hurricane season, so I have to finish that also.
Okay, noted. Thank you very much. All right, in this case, I do find proper notice. Respondent is present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation, allow respondent until May 25th of 2021 to bring the violation into compliance. Thereafter, daily fines of $75 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved. I'll also award the city's administrative costs of $425.29, which are also payable by May 25th.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You'll have to come back for that one because I got too many ahead of that one.
Okay.
Send Tamika in.
Who sent?
Tamika.
Okay.
Because he's.
Okay, no, that one.
Okay, next we're going to go to page 1 of the agenda. This is a public request for a lien reduction, item number 3, sorry. Page 1, item 3, case number 18-3544. Property address is 1118 North K Street. Property owner is Shane and Susan George, Officer Clinton Bush.
Thank you. You've already been sworn up.
No.
No, you haven't?
No, sir.
All right, let me go ahead and swear you in. Do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And then after I hear from the city, I'll come back and hear from the respondent, but your testimony needs to be under oath. So let me go ahead and swear in whoever is going to be testifying. Do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Thank you very much.
Good morning,
Go ahead.
Special Magistrate Officer Clinton Bush with the City of Lake Worth. Yes.
Yes.
Officer Clinton Bush with the City of Lake Worth Beach Code Compliance. This case number is 183544 with Susan George and Shane George. It is a lien reduction hearing. The owner has otherwise met all the requirements of section 2-693 and 2-693.1 of the city's code of ordinances relating to the reduction. On January 7th, 2020, we offered a stipulated agreement and the owner declined. At that time, we offered that the lien existing on the property for $7,650 be reduced to $1,530 to settle and release the lien. And that payment being made by February 27, 2020. It was declined.
The numbers again, it was 7 and change.
It was $7,650.
And the, that's still the correct, that's still the
Yes,
current
sir.
amount. And the negotiations that did not come to fruition, you had recommended $1,530.
$530, sir.
Okay, let me, but the case is otherwise eligible for a lien reduction,
Yes, sir.
just could not reach an agreement.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead and tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about.
Sure.
her case.
My name's Susan George. The address is 1118 North Bay Street.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we were offered the lien reduction, but we don't really even feel like we were out of compliance. When you look at the original stipulated agreement, it says that we needed to get permits by June 28th, 2019, which we were able to do. So we're not sure why we're out of compliance to begin with. And so I guess I'm asking that question first. If we can have a dialogue about that.
I'm looking at the original stipulated agreement. This is in the file. It's from March of 2019. Says the owner is granted until June 28th of 2019 to obtain compliance as specified in the notice of violation. Notice of violation.
The affidavit may be before it.
Oh, before it?
Yes, sir. The affidavit showing compliance, correct?
Maybe you can put your finger on it and give me some testimony on what happened with the stipulated agreement.
So you're correct. There was a stipulated agreement offering until June 28th, 2019 to comply the violation or a fine of $150 per day. And that the owner understood that a reinspection will occur by July 1st, 2019. The owner compliance date was August 21st, 2019, and that's to comply with the violations of the permit, to apply for, obtain, and finalize all permits.
that was done on that date.
So if I may, the notice of violation has 4 items. One of those items is to obtain permits, not to permit and complete the work. So if you look at the notice of violation, it does not say that the work had to be completed. And that's what we're arguing about, because we were not required to have the work completed by June 28th. We were required to meet the notice of violation, which says we needed permits for remodeling.
Well, let me ask, what does the stipulated settlement agreement, does it require obtaining the permits, or does it require permitting, inspecting, and
On that agreement, there were several items. One of them included a permit. What happened with the permit? The building official the building inspector went out and reg tagged the property. That's how we obtained that code section. And that was permits required for interior remodel work without permits, remodeling of electrical, plumbing, mechanical, and building, which comes from the building department. The other ones were landscaping regulations, and that was to maintain living ground cover. The other one was foreclosure, vacant property registration, Lake Worth Code of Ordinances 2-7511, to register the property, and also protective treatment to paint the property. So all of these would have had to come into compliance with that agreement by those dates.
And they
Found the
did.
property in complete compliance on that date, sir.
and is there a
They were in compliance by June 27th when we were issued the permit from the city of Lake Worth. All the other 3 items were done by June 20th. I have emails on June 20th sending them to Tamika saying that we have submitted for permit and all other 3 items are done. So in our view, the stipulated agreement does not say that you need to permit and complete the work. It says we need to have a permit by June 28th, which we did. We are being mistreated, and the stipulated agreement says nothing about the work must be completed. It says the items on the notice of violation must be commenced. We did that. They started.
Reduction application state, since we're here for a reduction, you understood she was. I don't believe. Stand by the building department. Registration.
all right, so here's the compliance affidavit, which indicates that the compliance deadline was June 28th and that the reinspection was performed on August 21st and it was complied out on August 21st. So the question is, what happened between June 28th and August 21st?
So if I may, I'm going back to the stipulated agreement that clearly talks about the notice of violation from the January letter that says to us that we need to get a permit. It doesn't say we need to complete the work. Nowhere in that document does it say that. It says that we were in violation for not having a permit. Now, if I may back up, we never started work. We removed drywall because the roof blew off the building and the drywall was soaked and was full of mold, and the ceiling in the area caved in on the ground. We removed the drywall. We did not need a demolition permit at that time when we were red tag. We never did plumbing, we never did electrical, we never did remodeling. We were mitigating the damage because we were waiting for the insurance to settle. And all we needed to do was mitigate the damage. That's all we were doing when we were red tagged. My husband called, explained that to the city, and then 6 months later, we received the letter in the mail.
Your Honor, based on our review of the file, it doesn't appear that that was clear, that they did need to complete the work. So what the city's willing to do is to go ahead and waive the remainder of the lien, and we'll issue either release.
Thank you.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
so we'll do you want to vacate the order because of, or did they already pay for it? You want to vacate or you just want to release? Which?
I mean, the lien would be taken care of, but I don't think the order being vacated is appropriate.
Right, we're
There's
gonna
still
release the lien. We'll just do a release of lien.
Okay.
Okay, then you don't need any further action from me on this one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, and just for,
On anything.
no. And just for future, we'll make our things clearer that we gotta go through the whole process and complete it. And so
Thank you.
Yeah, on your stipulated agreement, it should say that or on.
we will take care of that.
Yeah. And another thing, as far as the scope of work, when we got into the scope of.
You want to say your name for the record?
I mean, because
Thank you, folks.
giving a person a certain amount of time to finish the work on these long jobs. Once we had people to do the work, but we couldn't pull the permit ourselves. So now we had to find and hire a general contractor.
So you need more time.
And then when we got him
There were
in
other
there,
violations.
that was he said I needed an engineer, and then we needed an electrician. And so we had to find and hire all these people, and we had to hire the first guy to come in because we were in a hurry with it. And not only that, we were never out of code compliance because we weren't doing anything, we needed a permit.
Got it. Thank you. I don't mean to cut you off, sir. I got about 80 more cases to, and you won. Okay, you got no lien. I need to move this along.
We paid $1,500 into a permit that we shouldn't have had to. We
Because
paid the
we were
regular
red
price
tagged.
because we were red tagged.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Hundreds of dollars or whatever it was to come and see you. You know, so we're out close to $2,000 extra, just, we don't even know why. But thanks for
Thank you.
stepping in there and taking care of that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're going to go to page 38, item number 100, case number 20-1263, property address is 116 North F Street, number 6. Property owner is GMCO Family Rentals LLC, Officer Clinton Bush.
Which page is that?
That is page 38, item number 100. Up at the very top of page 38.
Case number, agenda?
20-1263, item number 100.
Yes, 100. Okay, got it.
Good morning, Special Magistrate Officer Clinton Bush, previously sworn in the case 20-1263 GMCO Family Rentals LLC. Mailing address is 3106 Scanlon Avenue, Lake Worth, Florida, 33461. The property location is 116 North F Street, number 6. I issued a formal notice of violation, notice of hearing on February 3rd, 2021 for the violations of Lake Worth Code of Ordinances 14-32 and 14-35 to apply for and obtain a City of Lake Worth Beach business license and approved inspections. This certified mail was received on February 8th, 2021, and the property was also posted on February 25th, 2021. The property was re-inspected on March 24th, 2020. The property was still found out of compliance. I've had contact with the owner this morning. She understands what the violations are per our conversations.
What's your recommendation in this case? What is your recommendation?
At this time, the city is recommending that the property come into compliance by March 29th, 2021, or a fine of $75 per day accrue. and an administrative cost of $425.29 to be paid by March 29th, 2021.
Okay, so let's see, so that's just a couple of days. Is that doable with whatever's left to do?
I'm sorry, April. I apologize. Oh, gosh. April, I apologize. April.
Okay. That makes a little more sense. Let me come over to respondents. I need to go ahead and whoever's going to be speaking to me needs to be under oath, so let me swear you in. Do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Go ahead and tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the case.
Okay. This is actually from my mother. Her name is Maria Lastra.
Okay.
My name is Claudia Rodriguez. And the address you said
Yes, please.
is 116 North F Street.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead.
She has another, a few other apartments, and they had required the same, like business license and the certificate and everything. We did it. And then we received one for this one as well. But she only owns one apartment in that building complex. And I spoke to the inspector from the other 5 apartments, and I also called the office like I told you this morning. And she did say, don't take my word for it, but if it says 2 or more apartments, then it is 2 or more apartments. And since she only had one there, it was a misunderstanding. We didn't think that she needed it for that one.
Okay.
When you go online to do the application, it says 2 to 4 apartments. It doesn't give you the option for just one apartment.
Is that a issue with the website, or is that a code issue? I mean, you have to have the business, even if it's just one.
Right, I've never heard of the issue that you couldn't just select one.
I have the picture. I can show you.
Oh, okay, is it when you go to a multifamily?
When you go to actually do the application for business license, it says townhouse, single family, condo, or 2 to 4 apartments. It doesn't give you option for just one.
But that, you would be a condo, right?
That would be an
Because you're-
apartment, right?
Well, you're in a building with multiple units, correct?
Okay, because for the other one, I had chosen the apartment, I think it's 6 to 12 or 5 to 12.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
it
think
was
you
just
have to
my,
pick condo because you're a
Right.
single owner.
That would
in
make
a
sense.
unit.
So either way, the city's recommending that you be given until the end of April 29th to get this resolved. Do you have any concerns about getting it done in that time frame? Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me? All right, thank you. Then I do find proper notice in this case. Based on the evidence, find the property remains in violation as cited. I'm going to accept the city's recommendation and allow the respondent until April 29th of 2021 to bring the outstanding violations into compliance. After that, daily fines of $75 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved, and I will award the city's administrative costs of $425.29 payable by April 29th.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Next, we're going to go to page 39. Oh, you're done. Yes, I'm sorry. Page 39, item number 103, case number 20-1461. Property address is 312 South A Street. Property owner is Gloria de la Cruz, Officer Clinton Bush.
Okay, before you start, let me go ahead and swear in whoever's going to be speaking to me on the case needs to be under oath. So let me swear in whoever's going to be speaking. If you'll raise your right hand. You swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Okay, I'm going to hear from the city's code enforcement officer first, and then after the city's completed its presentation, I'll come back and you folks can tell me about the case, and we'll take it like that, okay? Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. Case number 2014-61, De La Cruz Gloria Esperanza Herrera, and the mailing address at 27 North Buffalo Street, Lake Worth, Florida, 33461. The property location address is 312 South A Street. We issued a formal notice of violation, notice of hearing on February 3rd, 2021 by certified mail. Certified mail was received on February 9th, 2021, and the property was posted on March 1st, 2021. The violations at the property that exist was Lakewood Code of Ordinances 14-32 and 14-35 to apply for and obtain a City of Lake Worth Beach business license and an approved use and occupancy inspection. Lakewood Code of Ordinances 12-17, the storage and accumulation All refuse containers shall be stored out of plain public view. Lakewood Code of Ordinances 2-75.9, landscape shall be maintained. The property was re-inspected on March 24th, 2021, and to be found out of compliance, I have photographs of the property in question.
Yes, I'm contracted on the job.
Well, hold on a second, sir. I'll come over to you in just a second. Do you have a recommendation?
Yes, sir. The city at this time is recommending that the property come into compliance by April 22nd, 2021, or a fine of $75 per day accrue, and an administrative cost of $425.29 to be paid by April 22nd, 2021 as well.
And all the violations continue to exist?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, now let me come on over here, sir. If you'll tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the case.
No, right there.
Just right there.
Say where you're at.
Oh, okay, yes, my name is Salas from Salas County Construction. I'm contracted on the job. Then city was given all the violation. We response right, we apply for permit.
No. What address?
We apply for the permit. Then when you apply for the permit, it's almost a year. They never release the permit for we fix it. There's nothing we can do because they always stay there have a problem. They don't want to give us the permit. I have an architect and she pay money, then they never give us no permit.
What address are you?
It's 720, yeah, it's the wrong address. It's 727 South Federal Highway.
Hey.
That's the wrong case, yeah.
Okay, hold on. So they brought the wrong, did the other people leave?
She's probably outside, but you can go with this one. I can grab her.
Make sure they're looking at the number.
Okay.
Just a
Okay.
second, folks.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
Let's, okay, we're gonna go to page 23, item number 61, case number 20-1396. Property address is 727 South Federal Highway. Property owner is Sai Hospitality LLC, code manager Robinson.
Okay, and that's the correct address, and that's you, folks.
Okay.
All right, let's
Case number
do this again. Go
Case number
ahead.
20-1396, SAI Hospitality LLC, 727 South Federal Highway. The officer was Karen Stokes, who's no longer with the city, so I'm presenting the case, Yolanda Robinson, City of Lake Worth Beach. The violations at the property were LWCO 12-7 for a dumpster enclosure. That permit is still in plan review. It's been in plan review since May of 2020. So you will definitely need to contact the building department to see the status of that permit to move it forward. LWCO 1435, you need a use and occupancy inspection. Those are your two remaining violations. They have since complied the landscape violation. They've complied the window permit violation, and they've also complied the fence repair. So those things are taken care of. There was no courtesy notice issued. Property was re-inspected in October of last year. Certified mail received on February 9th, 2021. They've been given, of course, because due to COVID, everybody's been given extensions. There are photographs in the file, and I had not had any personal contact with the owners, but I don't know if the previous officer had. Recommendation is June 25th, 2021, or $100 per day. An administrative cost of $425.29 to be paid by, I'll switch it to June 25th, 2021 as well.
All right. So what we're talking about is the dumpster enclosure permit and the use and occupancy certificate. Anything else that was on the notice has been complied. So tell me what's going on with the dumpster permit.
Okay, they asked us for using architect. We have architect draw the plan. Then they told us they will release the permit. Only I told you, right, I never see this like that. They never do nothing. Then I just, anytime you call Alex, she says, call her, she can come in. My architect, they call them, they never respond. Yeah, then, I never, so I do 20 different jobs in another city. But this permit never can release on city Lakewood. I don't know what can we do.
All right, let me ask, you said this has been in plan review since May of 2020. I mean, is it still an active application or does this?
He'll have it.
Oh, okay, we're going to hear from the building official in just a minute. Yes, ma'am.
Because last time I contacted to the city, like building department.
Your Honor, I
Yeah.
think we only swore in one.
Yes, you
Did
did.
you swear in?
I thought she raised her. I thought she
Okay, I
did.
didn't see it, my bad,
Yeah.
sorry.
So the last time when I contacted to the city, they transferred me to Alexis Rosenberg. And like as usual, always, we never get her answer. We leave a voicemail, we never get response back. So my commissioner manager is the Karen Strokes, and I spoke with her last time because when I received a mail letter of the hearing, I contacted her and she visited our property and I had a conversation with her. And she's the one who recommended me to talk with the Peter Ringer. And when I talked with him, he sent out me an email. I think it was on February 4th. As far as I remember, it was on February 4th. And they said they need resubmittal documents, which we resubmitted to, but still we had no response back yet.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Peter Ringel, building official with the city of Lake Worth Beach. I have the permit history here in front of me. It was originally submitted on 5/7 and was disapproved by planning. It was resubmitted on 9/22 and disapproved by planning. It was resubmitted on 10/27 and disapproved by planning. It was finally resubmitted on 1/7 of 2021, and it was disapproved on 2/4 of 2021. And the disapproval comments from the latest submittal are as follows here. I'm just going to read them. Takes a second to bring it up. Okay, confirm the dumpster location is taking up 1 parking space or 2 as previously requested. Confirm where dumpster proposed is going as relates to the rest of the site. It looks like they're changing the location that they had originally submitted it for. And all of these comments, need to be addressed. They need to know where the dumpster enclosure is going. And, it really hasn't been a clear plan submittal. That's 4 reviews for dumpster enclosure, which is excessive in my opinion for, a dumpster enclosure. You have a site plan, you show this is where the dumpster enclosure is going. The city has standard details that they do provide for a dumpster enclosure. So it's just a matter of saying, we're gonna put our dumpster enclosure here on the site.
So agreed, this has gone through, what are we on the 5th attempt now?
5th submittal.
Are the comments always different? Are they the same?
It's basically the same comments.
Okay. Okay. So right now the ball is back in the respondent's court to resubmit
As of.
or respond to the comments.
The ball is in their court to resubmit,
Okay.
and we have received the submittal since the 4th.
Okay. Do you have follow-up comments or questions for the building official?
Yeah, my architect call all time to meet with someone. See, nobody never answer the phone. And because I did almost 20 different dumpsters in the city, they don't ask you all kinds of stuff. I only think you give the survey, you mark where it's going, that's it. But this one, we even have architect involved on it. Architect never can get contact with Alex. Yeah, I just talked with him a while ago. I called Alex again. She never answered the phone.
Okay. Well, so I mean, at this point, we're almost a year into this process. Let me ask, is the use and occupancy certificate being held up by the dumpster?
Yes.
Okay, so once the dumpster issue is resolved, everything should be resolved. Okay.
And I also submitted my card to the respondent, so if they can't get through with someone, they can always call me.
Cool.
I'll get you where you need.
But, I think that end of June this needs to be finished by June 25th.
Let me
So,
permit, the dumpster will take me 3 days.
yeah, I mean, as the building official testified, the city has published standards on what they need for a dumpster enclosure. It's not rocket science, but it needs to be done correctly.
Yes, oh yeah.
So I'm going to, first, I do find proper notice, respondent is present. I will find the property remains in violation of city code sections 12-7 and 14-35, but has complied with all other sections that were cited in the notice. I'm going to accept the recommendation. I'm going to allow till June 25th to get this finished up. So, you know, if you don't get through the building department, call Ms. Robinson, but you know,
thank you. I will
keep this moving forward, and there's no reason this shouldn't be done within that time frame. But if it's not, there will be daily fines of $100 per day until it's complied, and I will award the city's administrative costs of $425.29, which would also be payable by June 25th. So I think just keep those lines of communication open, and I'm confident you guys can get this done. All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Doesn't need it now.
Yeah, got it. Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're good.
You're all set. Thank you.
You can copy me.
Do you know how many more respondents we have?
I'm very good about responding. If she doesn't respond, okay, we'll get it.
Five.
You want to burn through them, or do you want to take a quick?
You want to burn through the respondents and then we take a break when we're done?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Or do you want to take a break now?
No.
All right, let's
Unless you have to.
get through the last five. And then we'll okay.
Okay, you're done. Thank you. Page 39, case, we're going to go back to page 39, case number item 103, case number 20-1461, property address of 312 South A Street. Property owner is Gloria De La Cruz, Officer Clinton Bush.
Now, are they here?
Yes.
Okay. So I think she has to present that case again.
That one and the other one. Agreed.
$116. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's 312. It's right here. You left it. It's right here.
I think the file's right here, yeah.
312 South A Street.
So that was practice. The last time. This will be the real time. And I'm going to need, okay, here's the file.
Morning.
Morning. I do need to swear you in before you testify. If you raise your, do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to hear from the city first after the presentation's been made. Then I'll come back and let you tell me about the case as well. Okay? Go ahead.
Good morning, Special Magistrate Officer Clinton Bush, previously sworn for case 2014-61, De La Cruz, Gloria Esperanza Herrera, in the mailing address of 27 North Buffalo Street in Lake Worth, Florida. The property location is 312 South A Street. The violations at this property that exist is Lake Worth Code of Ordinances 14-32 and 14-35 to apply for and obtain a City of Lake Worth Beach business license and obtain approved use and occupancy inspection. Lake Worth Code of Ordinances 12-17, storage and accumulation of garbage containers in recycling bins stored in plain view. Lake Worth Code of Ordinances 2-75.9, landscaping and landscape shall be maintained. The property, the certified mail was received on February 9th, 2021. The property was posted on March 1st, 2021. The property was re-inspected on March 24th, 2021. I do have photographs which are a clear and accurate representation of what I witnessed. And I had contact, she is not the owner, she is the daughter of the owner, and I do not have a designation of agent on file. However, she would like to speak for the owner.
Okay. Any objection from the city?
Your Honor, we don't have an objection with her speaking. I think we would still recognize that the owner was not present, but certainly allow her to speak.
Okay. All right, I will find proper notice in this case with the return certified mail and the posting. We have the respondent's daughter present. Go ahead and tell me your name and address, and then you can go ahead and tell me about the case.
Good morning, my name is Gloria Morales, and my address is 2840. Actually, I lied. It's, I moved to Miami with that. You want my old address here in Lake Worth?
Wherever you're at now.
Okay, so it's 601 Northeast 39th Street, Miami, Florida, 33137.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. The tenant that I had living there we did not receive any paperwork. I'm not sure where exactly the mailing address is. My mom retired and left to Peru, so I had no idea what was happening until maybe 2 weeks ago, where the tenant actually, I guess they posted it on the wall or something, and she decided to go to my place of business and give it to me. At that time, I did start the process of taking care of the violations. So right now I'm in the process of getting the license ready, and I already told my tenant to take care of the garbage and the grass as well.
All right, and just to let you know, the address that is on file for this property is 27 North Buffalo Street in Lake Worth.
Yes, I've been seeing a lot of.
Yeah, that's where
I changed the address on the business license. I put my business address, so then I'll be getting the correspondence there. I don't know how.
So that is the address that the property appraiser and tax collector still have for this property. So you might want
I
to
would have to go towards the property.
check it with.
There, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Because by law, the city is required to send it to that address.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay. So I would have to go change it with them.
Yeah, change that
Okay.
with the county,
All right.
and then you should be all set. And
All right.
then it was posted as you indicated.
Yes.
So April 22nd was the recommended.
April 22nd, 2021, or a fine of $75 per day, administrative cost of $425.29 to be paid by April 22nd, 2021 as well.
All right. Sounds like you're underway to getting these resolved. You see any issue with getting it taken care of by April 22nd? It's about a month.
If the license doesn't take that long, that's what I would like to ask, if it takes about a month to get that squared away, or does it take shorter amount of time? I already submitted the request. That's, put it all in the computer. I just want to know if that takes a couple weeks, and then yes, I could have it done before then.
All right, so you've already applied for it, it
Yes,
sounds
sir.
like.
I already did. I sent in the application.
All right, and then if the other violations are cured, which the landscaping and the outdoor storage would need to be taken care of for you to pass
Yes.
the other,
yes, I
so.
believe so, yes. The only thing would be the license. If it takes longer than a month, then yes, I would need more, but if not, then I'm pretty sure I could take care of it within that month.
The third, is that enough time?
If you paid and all you need is an inspection, we're only doing exterior inspection, so it should not take a long time.
Okay, yeah, no, I had submitted it before, and then I guess I wrote the wrong address. I didn't write the right address of business, so I had to resubmit it again, and I did that maybe 2 days ago. So I just probably need to pay now and then get an appointment going. So that's all.
You should have plenty of time. It
Okay, just make
sounds-
sure. I don't wanna say I need it and then I don't need it, you know?
Yeah. All right, I already found proper notice in this case. I will find property remains in violation as cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation, allow compliance deadline of April 22nd, 2021. If property is not brought into compliance by then there will be daily fines of $75 per day until compliance is achieved, and I will award the city's administrative costs of $425.29 payable also by April 22nd. Okay?
Special magistrate.
Yes.
I said thank you.
Oh, thank you. You said you had a question. Yeah,
Am
thanks.
I gonna receive any copies of this?
We'll get an order that memorializes all that. Yeah.
The 27th or to who? Because now I have to go change that, and since we're doing that, I'd like to receive it to
You
my.
need an address you want.
Yes,
Put it,
yeah.
write it in here so I know where to send the order to, because we're gonna send it to whatever's on the property.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, where you're gonna send it, rather just give me an address and then.
Good deal.
Here.
Right here. Also, if there's something that I need to sign or have my mother.
Okay, so we're gonna go to page 6 of the agenda, item number 16.
Follow.
Case number 20-950, property address is 820 Snowden Drive, property owner is Cesar Cardona and Raquel Garzon.
All right.
Almost went over the can.
I guess I'll just ask.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And 16.
16. Right. Give me a second, Mr. Hicks. I'm going to need to swear you folks in if you're going to be speaking to me. So if you could raise your right hand, do each of you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you very much. The way we'll proceed is I'll hear from the city's witness first. After the city's presentation is concluded, then I'll come back and you'll be able to tell me everything you need to about the case. All right? All right. So thank you very much. Go ahead, Mr. Hicks.
Good morning, Bobby Hicks, City of Lake Worth Beach Code Compliance. Case number 20-0950. Owner is Cesar and Raquel Garzon Cardona. Property location is 820 Snowden Drive. This was on a field observation of violations 15-39. No inoperable or unlicensed motor vehicle shall be parked, kept, or stored on any premises. Please register vehicles and ensure that all vehicles are operable or removed from the property. Sections 12-17, remove all garbage cans from public view. Section 23.4-19, remove all outdoor storage from carport. Sections 2-75.6.2, remove all mildew from shutters, house, driveway, and front porch. Replace all broken windows. Sections 2-75.6.6, lift up all storm shutters in the upright position and remove all metal coverings from windows. Courtesy notice was given on 2/20 of 2020, was reinspected on 3/13 of 2020 and found to be in non-compliance. We sent out official notice of violation and hearing by certified mail on 10/28 of 2020. Certified mail was received on 10/31, 2020. The property was reinspected on 3/13, 4/21, 5/19, 6/19, 7/28, 12/22 of 2020, and 2/1 and 3/24 of 2021, and found to be in non-compliance. Photographs were taken of the property and violations. I did have personal contact with the property owners. City's recommendation time for compliance is 4/25 of 2021, or fines of $100 per day, plus the administrative cost of $425.29, also to be paid by 4/25/2021.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, sir, go ahead and tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the case.
Cesar Cardona. I live in 820 Snowden Drive.
Yes, sir.
I complied with, I did some of the stuff already, like some of the broken window, I replaced it. The shutters in the back, I wasn't really sure about, but if I gotta take the shutters in the back, we'll do it. I took the shutters in the front, took them down. And I raised one of the car already. The other car, I will try to sell it. All right. I already had it and they offer up to see if any buyer contact me. All we ask is a little more time.
Okay, well, the city's recommending that you be given about another month to finish up. It sounds like you've started getting some of this stuff done and you've got a little bit more to do though. So sounds like a month is reasonable to me. Do you have any concerns about finishing this up within the next month?
Yeah, we can do it.
Okay. All right, and then in this case, I do find proper notice, respondent is present. We'll find that property remains in violation as cited. I'm going to accept the city's recommendation, allow until April 25th, 2021 for the remaining violations to be complied. After that, there will be daily fines of $100 per day until compliance is achieved. So make sure you get that done. I will award the city's administrative costs of $425.29, which is also payable by April 25th. Okay, thank you very much.
Well,
Okay, next we're going to go to page 27, and there's a correction there. I've got it labeled as item number 7071, but it's actually just item number 70. Case number 20-776. Property address is 1420 South C Street. Property owner is River Equity, Inc., Officer Turek.
No.
Okay, good morning, sir. Let me go ahead and swear you in so that when you testify, it'll be under oath. Do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. I'm going to come back and hear the city's presentation after they've finished with their presentation, which may include photographs that you can see on the monitor. Then I'll come back to you and tell me whatever else you need to tell me about the case. All right? Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Suella Turek for the City of Lake Worth Beach, Code Enforcement, case number 2776, owner River Equity, Inc., address 3400 Avenue, Villadrie, Delray Beach, property address 1420 South C Street. The violations are as follows. 1432 Lake Worth business license. 1435, the use and occupancy inspection for the license, and the building permit 23.2-21 to fix, repair, or replace driveway and curb cut by contacting the building department. There is a permit on file that has also been disapproved, and the violation was to have it closed, complied, and finalized. And the property was posted January 28th, 2021. Extension was given from 5/28/20 to 3/25/21 due to the COVID. I have photographs depicting the violations. The recommendation of time would be 30 days, 4/26/21 at $125 per day. To be paid, the 4/25/29 to be paid within 30 days as well, 4/26/21.
Are the 2-75 violations still pending, or are those resolved?
That was complied, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so now it's just the business license, certificate of or use and occupancy certificate, and the building permit issue.
Right, for the
Gotcha.
driveway.
All right. All right, thank you, sir. Go ahead and tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the case.
Jim Emerson.
And are you one of the corporate officers of River Equity, Inc.?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
The reason I tried to cooperate from the beginning of this kind of situation. The first thing was the number was not visually, because after they paint the place, but after that I fixed that, and she asked me for the sidewalk to get washed. And I think I get a call from her like a Thursday, but on Saturday I already just get a sidewalk. By Monday I received a call from her, but I am already done with that. But for the driveway, at the same time, before I receive a letter, I'm already get the contact with the contractor to continue to fill the application for the permit. But after that, the permit is with the city over, I think, 2 to 3 months. But we don't for the driveway. If we get the permit, the driveway is supposed to get done already. But now, last time I get the communicate with the contractor, look like they asked for something different, and the first application look like they add something. They're supposed to get the permit from last week, but look like they still don't have it. If I can be clear how far the process is for the permit, I might be satisfied with if we get a permit, the next day we can get a driveway just get done.
Peter?
What's the address?
1420 South C.
1420 South C Street. Just give me a minute.
This is, the permit was disapproved, permit number 21-96, Peter. Was disapproved, need right-of-way application for enlarged approach.
So, 2196. Pulling up. This is Peter Ringel with the City of Lake Worth Beach. I'm pulling up the tracking in the computer system for this particular permit. Okay, so a resubmittal was put in on March 16th. It needs to be reviewed by Public Services. So, you know, that was the 16th, today's the 25th. So that was 9 days ago that they submitted. We just need time to review the permit to make sure that the right-of-way application is appropriate and the plans are appropriate. And once Public Works signs off on it, Building will sign off on it. We have about a week, would be my guess, for the review. And if everything's appropriate, then the permit should be issued end of next week, beginning of the week after.
Okay. So if, assuming the building official's testimony bears out, then you'd still have several weeks after that to get the work actually done. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me, sir?
Nothing.
Okay.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Anything else from the city?
Yes, you believe you can have this driveway finished by 4/26/21, and you don't have the permit in hand yet. Do you need to ask
That's
for
only my
anything?
question. There's only what left over, there's a permit. If I have a permit, because the contractor, I think, is going to work out immediately.
I have no objection to rolling this, giving them 60 days.
I think that would be best.
Why don't we,
More
More
time.
than 60 days, if for some reason it stay long, because this permit is more longer than the time we expect to receive it.
Yes.
You're interested to give him more time than 60 days?
well, tell me what your recommendation is.
I would like to extend it to the 60 days. Is that fine with you, sir?
Yeah, but 60 days, I said, if we need to get if I can go to 90 days, I can be better. When the 60 day come in, if it's not complete.
Peter? Peter?
Give me a second.
Okay.
When did this case start?
It's been ongoing for a little while, but,
February?
and I have been in contact with him. And I know it's a little more difficult, with the doors being closed. I do understand that. I just don't want to cut him short since he doesn't have the permit in his hand yet.
I'm looking up, 60 days should be more than enough to get it done. I mean, you know, Public Works, they're usually pretty fast about the review, and I'm about a week. So the longest it should be for the permit is 2 weeks.
Okay, 60 days.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Welcome.
Can you give me a date?
What was that, 5?
When was that, May 25th?
May 25th.
5/25.
All right, then in this case, I am going to find proper notice. I will find that the property remains in violation of City Code Sections 14, 32, and 35, as well as 23.2-21, but has complied with the violations that were cited under Section 2-75.6. I will allow till May 25th of 2021 to bring this into compliance, which means getting the permit and getting the work done and inspected and approved. If compliance is not achieved by May 25th, there will be daily fines of $125 per day until compliance is achieved. Then I will award the city's administrative costs of $425.29, also payable by May 25th. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to page 40, item number 106, case number 20-1398. Property address is 902 South L Street. Property owner is Herbert Michael V. Estates LLC. Officer Mitchell.
All right, while we're waiting for the code officer to come in, ma'am, let me go ahead and swear you in so that your testimony will be under oath. Do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And I don't believe you've been sworn in yet either. You were in the back? Okay. Can't remember. All right, then whenever you're settled and ready to proceed, go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, I'm Officer Code Officer Willie Mitchell, previously sworn in. Case number 201398, Harbor Michael B. Estates LLC, address 3224 Tyranny Place, Bronx, New York, 10465. Property location is 902 South L Street. It's a citizen-made complaint. Found property to be in violation of City Code Ordinance 14-32. Apply for a City of Lake Worth Beach business license, 1435. Obtain and approve use and occupancy inspection. Ordinance 2-75.6.2, general requirements requiring all egress windows to be operational and functional. No courtesy notice. Property posted on February 25th, 2021. Property was re-inspected on March the 24th, 2021, which was yesterday. Photographs was taken. I made contact with the property owner on March the 18th. Contact was made on March the 25th of 2020, also on March the 18th of 2021, where he advised me to contact Ms. Vance, who's here, Ashley Vance. Recommendation time is May the 26th, 2021, which is 60 days with a fine of $150. Administrative cost of $425.29, which also to be paid on March the 26th, 2021.
So under general requirements, the remaining issue is the windows?
Yes, the windows.
That's what's holding up the other two, the license and the business tax?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me come back over, ma'am, if you could tell me your name and address and
My
then,
name is Ashley Vance. I live in 2755 Southwest Second Street, Delray Beach, Florida, 33445.
thank you, ma'am, go ahead.
Property manager.
You are not, you are or you're not?
I am.
Thank you, go ahead.
Basically, this was like a disgruntled, we had a big issue with the tenants that were living there last year during COVID. They were getting into like physical arguments with the tenant downstairs. The cops were called multiple times. So we were asking them to leave, and basically they were doing this in retaliation. All of the windows are open, half of the windows are new, some of them are older, it is a very old house, but they all open.
Okay. So then you just probably need the city to come out.
You basically just have to come and actually, let me know so I can let them all know that I need access to the apartments. But they do all open.
All right, well, so the May 26th deadline shouldn't be a problem, it doesn't.
May 26th is fine.
Okay. All right, anything else, ma'am? Thank you. That I do find proper notice in this case. I find based on the testimony and the evidence, property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation, allow compliance deadline of May 26, 2021. Thereafter, daily fines of $150 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved, and I will award the city's administrative costs of $425.
Can I just ask a question about that?
And 29, yeah.
I had reached out and left several messages I'm not sure if it was you, but whoever was listed, and I would call the city of Lake Worth and give them, the property address. I would leave several messages to try and, get this handled before now, and no one ever got back to me.
You have the phone number?
Yeah, I would call the city of Lake Worth or what was on basically the letter. So, I can see what, if I can pull it up. But when you guys would mail the letters, I would call that number and ask for the person that was handling that case. And I would leave multiple cell phone messages. Nobody would get back to me. So a $500 administrative cost when I tried to handle this I think that's pretty outrageous.
Did you schedule your use and occupancy inspection?
No, because I couldn't get anybody on the phone.
We always answer.
Yeah.
If you leave a message, we call you back. If you're calling the 1652, now I don't know if you were calling the code
I
officer,
was
but
calling whoever was handling the actual case, and it was a male.
And when was you, because this case been since March of last year.
Yeah, as soon as we started getting the first letter, and then you sent another letter maybe a few months ago, and then I left a bunch of messages then. No one ever got back to me.
Yeah. When I made contact with the property owner, he gave me your information. That's how I came in contact with you.
But that was now. I've been trying to get, I mean, if you're the person who I've been trying to call, I don't remember right off cuff. I don't have the letter anymore, but I know that I tried to reach out.
Look at the first letter, Mr. Yolanda. The first letter, all the way to the back.
It was a pink letter on pink paper that was mailed.
Let's continue.
Want to continue
Yeah,
it?
we want to continue the case. We want to continue.
The code
because
officer,
that
the original
officer
code
is no longer
officer
with
that
the
cited
city.
is not.
Okay.
That's what.
That's
Being told the office, the code enforcement officer that handled this is no longer with the city. The city's asking that I do not enter an order today and then we postpone resolution of the matter, and I guess they'll look into it some more. So I have no objection to continuing this to my next agenda. If need be, hopefully you guys can work it out ahead of time. If not, what would that hearing be?
April 29th. So if it's not taken care of, you'll have to appear on the April 29th.
Okay, April 29th. Okay. And who do I make the appointment with you? Should I just email you back?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
If possible, I'm actually leaving town, so I'd like to get it done as possible, like Monday or Tuesday.
Use and
Can you
occupancy.
arrange the number on?
Hold on, you need a use and occupancy inspection. That's a different number. I'm going to write it
it's a
down
different
for you.
number. Okay,
Okay, great.
great, thank you.
You're welcome.
And they'll check the windows and everything, so it's one person, that's it?
It's one person.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
So just for the record, no orders entered on that case, and pending either getting resolved behind the scenes or being put back on another agenda.
Yes,
The
sir.
April 29th agenda. Okay.
Okay, next, we're going to page number 5, item number 13. This is case number 19-2993. Okay, 2993. It's a public request for an extension of time. Property address is 125 South B Street. Property owner is South B LLC. It's Officer Clinton Bush. And Mr. Davis, this one came before you in January and you asked them to come back for a status.
Okay.
Let me find out where.
I'm sure I'll remember it once I don't remember it yet, but.
This is the status check. You can hear me? Oh, we can't hear me. It's the status check, just so you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the case. I don't remember it.
Right.
Okay. Refresh my memory.
Officer Clinton Bush with the City of Lake Worth Beach Code Compliance previously sworn. This is case number 19-2993 for a status check of 125 South B Street. At the last magistrate hearing, the owner was out of compliance of numerous violations. At this time, the owner has complied the violations of her landscaping, of painting, and taking care of the exterior of the property areas. The owner also was in compliance of garbage containers in view. At this time, the outstanding violations that remains that the owner is continuously working on, I did have some email conversations with her, is the building permit. One of the building permits, as she told you she would do, was finalizing the fence permit. She did that, sir. The building permit for the remodel, there was revisions that needed to be made, and I believe that was submitted this week.
Okay.
Also, the business license, so that would be Lake Worth Code of Ordinances 1432 and 1435. For the business license, the owner stated at the last magistrate hearing that it was owner occupied, but due to a business partnership, we requested the license, and she was going to be selling the property, or the property would be sold to her so that she can obtain a license or either not obtain the license and homestead the property.
So are those the only 14, 32, and 35, and then the building permit are the only things that are outstanding?
Yes, sir.
Everything else is complied?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Dan, let me go ahead and swear you in. Do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and tell me your name and address, please.
Immaculate Fun Rose. It might be under my husband's name, Arkansas Rose. Property address is 125 South Beach Street, Lakewood Beach, Florida, 33460.
All right. Well, it sounds like you've done a lot since the last time you were here.
That was just what you told me.
Yeah, but most people, don't care what I tell them. So the fence permit was taken care of, and
Yes,
the
sir.
remodel permit's in process, and those are holding up the business license and certificate. Oh, and then she has to do the other title work, I guess.
With the business license certificate, she's actually living there, but because of the business partner, it's in a business name. And I believe I was told that she tried to make the sale where the business partner bought out so that she can homestead the property. And they wasn't able to do so because the open case in Orlean on the property.
Started 2 days
Before you, I just want to make sure I understand. So if I own the property and live in the property, but I hold it under a corporate holding, I have to get a business license?
That wasn't the case at the time that it was cited.
Okay.
It can't be under an LLC or corporation.
Okay, I'm just
Yes, sir.
asking. So go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. You were telling me about
Oh,
taking.
yeah, like I told Tamika, after we're done here, because I make it clear to you that I was gonna bought my partner out. And then 2 days later, it was supposed to close. The title company called me and said we couldn't do that because it occurred. You guys put the, what do you call it again?
The lien.
Not the lien, but everything in the
active case.
property as of January 28th, so I couldn't move forward to remove my other partner. So right now I'm still stuck, but I do live there. It's my property, it's my house. I live there, but I can't do anything until everything is complete. And I'm waiting on the city of Lakewood to, with the revision, because I guess they're short staffed, a lot going on, so it's taking a little bit longer.
How much more time do you think we reasonably need to get the remodel permit through the process?
I assume they give me the okay, so I'll say maybe 2 weeks.
The remodel, I spoke with Peter briefly on the remodel. I'm sorry, the building department. I apologize. She submitted the revisions for it. So the permit that she originally submitted, a lot of the work wasn't completed, which is why she needs a revision. So it shouldn't take that long because she only did part of the work.
Yes.
And I don't want to drag this on forever, but is 60 days a reasonable time to get the rest of this stuff buttoned up?
I'll take it, but I don't need that much.
30 days?
60 days.
60.
I'd rather give you a little bit more than you need than cut it too short.
Uh-huh.
So, I have no objection to extending the compliance deadline for the remaining violations out to May 25th.
Okay, thank you.
If I may, sir. The few times that I was there, I've always seen her at the property. Anytime I've knocked, she's been there. So I don't believe the property is being rented anymore, but she can't prove homesteaded at this time due to the corporation. But she does live there from what I can see. And the utilities is in the husband's name.
All right, well, so let's extend the compliance deadline to May 25th. And that should be enough time to get the remodel permit taken care of, and then whatever you need to do to get the business license piece of this resolved. Sounds like it's all headed in the right direction now. So thank you. I really appreciate actually seeing forward progress like this. It's impressive.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, that concludes all the respondents that are here. So can we take a little break?
Yeah, it's just afternoon. Why don't we, how much time? Do you want a full blown lunch break? What do you want? Do you want just 10 minutes?
That's for you.
Yes, because we know you have a time
I
certain.
got a council meeting that starts at 4, so I need to be done at 3. So
I'm good with 10 minutes.
why don't we just try and reconvene about 20 after, something like that.
Okay.
And we'll go off the record until then.
Okay.